Meh, bah, 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 bah. You know, it just doesn't matter what I do. My camera looks different every single time that I stream. It just doesn't matter. But that's fine. That's fine. I'll just be a boomer. I am a boomer when it comes to stuff like that. You know? Setting up a couple of my little things on the YouTube side. Boom. All right. Are you guys excited for hell? Because that's practically what it always is. But hey. About you being a bishop in the Council of Tel Aviv? What are you talking about, man?
Brycey poo.
What's up?
Yo, man, I talked to you on a different account. I want to apologize for talking about the hairline in front of like 200 people.
Oh, it's fine. You're not the only one.
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty fun, man. It adds to the aura.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it like makes you look wise.
Well, thank you.
That's a nice way of saying it makes you look old.
Yeah, I know. That's fine.
Yeah, I love
better.
you guys.
It's better to look old when you're a dude, you know.
Yo, so Bryce, when are you gonna become a bishop in the second synod of Tel Aviv?
Whenever the second synod of Tel Aviv is called.
It's gonna be at the capitulate. I don't know. I might get your life restricted for saying that. Actually, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
probably wouldn't say what you're probably about to say, bro.
Yeah, I won't say that.
Hello, Bryce. How you doing?
What's up?
I'm good. All glory be to God. So I've seen you like once. So I had a quick question. Like, you might think it's a stupid question, but any question's a good question. That's what my mom said. So would you agree that that there's real distinction between persons?
Yeah.
This, by the way, this is like an argument for the Filioque way.
Okay.
So this is
Yeah, I
and
believe that
this
the
just
persons are really distinct.
yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. And so you would also grant that the Son and Spirit are definitely really distinct, right?
Correct.
Awesome. So what grounds these real distinctions?
A disparate repugnance by mode of existence.
Awesome. So you would so you would agree that these disparate relations or hypostatic properties or anything of the sort are grounded by the relations to origin, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. So would you then agree that when we see active generation and active spiration, the father is not composite and there's not two fathers? So then we can say that if relations do not necessarily oppose each other, then there introduces no distinction, correct?
If there's what? Say that again.
Sorry, if relations are not distinct from each other, they won't. It will not introduce. It will not introduce relation like a distinction. I think I worded. Let me rephrase that. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, like the reason why I'm shaking my head is because it sounds to me like you just said
No.
relations aren't distinct
yeah.
if they're not distinct.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I realized after I said that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me clarify. I apologize. If these relations do not oppose, if relations don't oppose each other, then there's no grounds for distinction. Would you disagree with that?
Depends on what you refer to opposition as.
Yeah, sure. Like for example, active generation and passive generation.
I wouldn't say that that's the only form of opposition that can exist in the Trinity.
And the reason I clarify that is because, like for example, active generation and active spiration don't oppose each other, so that's why we see only one father, not two distinct fathers. Do you get what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I understand. Like the general view of that
Of course.
opposition is a way to distinguish
Of course.
persons. That's not generally what I have a contention with.
Of
What
course.
I'm saying is that the opposition is not something that's necessitated by, for example, formal constituents like being opposed to each other. So the persons themselves, like their formal constituents, can be disparately opposed to each other, meaning that they're just
by the formalities. Yes.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that the two formalities of passive generation and passive spiration have to have some kind of causal relation with each other in order
Of
for them
course.
to be opposed to each other.
Of course. And so then, well, not of course actually, because I disagree. But
You're just saying, of course, as in like you understand what I'm saying.
yes, yeah, yes, yeah.
Yep.
So then I would ask, because you agreed earlier that the relations to origin ground the hypostatic properties, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. So then what grounds the distinction, right? Of course you would go to formalities, but like then what grounds the distinction between the Son and the Spirit?
Well, I mean, the thing I said that already grounds the distinction between the Son and the Spirit is due to the fact that the Son, by begetting, receives sonship as a formal constituent, and if the Holy Spirit does not possess sonship, therefore he cannot be the Son, and then therefore a relation, or not even a relation
so a
itself, but a
hypostatic
distinction has
property.
been shown. Yes.
But a hypostatic property, correct?
Yes.
So would you agree
Because
that
begetting and procession
course.
are not semantically equivalent to each other.
Yeah, of
so
course.
Each one would be a unique mode of existence, and then that
course.
in of itself epistemically actually justifies a distinction.
So
between
when we say that, for example, like I explained, like begetting and spirating, right?
Yeah.
And when I say spirating, I'm referencing the Eastern Orthodox position, not including the Son.
Sure.
When we say that, because I'm not trying to straw man your position, when we say that, would you agree that these might be semantically distinct, but yet don't introduce a distinction between the Father and the Father, correct?
The Father and the who?
The Father, like I'm saying, there's only one Father, even though these are semantically distinct.
Semantically distinct. What's the subject
I'm
that you're saying is
referencing,
semantically
like,
distinct? I don't
For
understand.
example, I'm saying, like, for example, when you reference sonship and being spirated, right? I'm saying that when we see, like, you reference passive spiration and passive generation, and now I'm bringing up when I'm bringing up active generation and active spiration, what causes no distinction in these terms, but instead passive generation and passive spiration, what causes a distinction in those terms?
You're asking me how. Okay, so what you're asking me, let me know if I'm wrong here. You're asking me that how is it that the formal constituent of the Father denotes two formalities that denote two other persons, yet they're not distinct in the Father himself?
In reference to the Father himself, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the formal constituent of the Father, in our view, is fecundity. So the power to generate, the power to, I guess, cause another, right? Just in its simplest terms. There's two virtual containments, which would be active spiration and active generation.
Yes.
These two virtualities then denote two formalities as effects, right? The same way how you could, a similar analogy could be used based off of how you guys understand the virtual distinction, where you can notice that even though that in the virtualities themselves, they don't denote another formality, by their effect, we can know for a fact that something said actually exists. And so the effect of the virtual containment would be, for example, the one who possesses passive generation and passive spiration, which these two formalities would be formally distinct or formally actually distinct, to be specific.
Yes.
And therefore, if these two formal constituents are formally and actually distinct, this would then denote some form of hypostasis, and then the hypostasis would be distinct off of these formal constituents. So I mean, like it's kind of like an unraveling of
and this works perfectly for your
things
position.
to show
I just wanted to
distinct.
clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for example, like this, why I wasn't like
Fecundity is one
course.
formality, and it virtually contains active
course.
spiration and active generation.
Yes. Yeah, and of course, and that's why I'm not trying to debate, because I understand in the Eastern Orthodox position, this suffices quite well. But if you like affirm ADS, then you need relations of opposition. But
Well, I mean, like I would say
like,
that
if
I
we say
hold to
everything's
divine
identical,
simplicity. Like, what do you mean?
I'm like absolute, like we say like all absolutely identical. Sorry, not absolutely, like real identity, only virtual distinctions.
You're talking about ADS, like insofar as the hardest distinction you can make is like a major virtual distinction or something like that.
Yeah, but like we need a relations of opposition to make a distinction.
To make a distinction in a real sense, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, no.
But in the
Not
Eastern Orthodox position, that's not needed, and so that's why
Right.
it suffices. I just wanted your position, because I understand this like argument has no effect on your position at all, and so that's why I was just trying to get your
I am curious though. What is it? Is it just the necessity of relations of opposition argument used at Florence? Is that what you were going to bring up?
What I was. Yeah.
I'm just curious about what it is.
Yeah, of course. That's what I normally run. But then I realized like this argument low-key sucks because it like doesn't work on your position at all.
Okay.
And so I was getting clarification. But yeah, it is the one at Florence where everything's identical to God except when there's relations of opposition. But of course, this doesn't work on your position because, well, there's other real distinctions. Or
so one of the main
real.
things that we ground that type of thing in, especially, is even some of the Western people that are post-schism to this. Like, for example, Eastern Orthodox Christians have quoted for years now a lot of the Scotists. Right, a lot of the people like
I'm
like
starting
Frost
to become like a SCOTUS.
Yeah,
but like I really
Mastery.
like the Summa.
Yeah, freaking Mastery, Frassen, Bartholomew, like just there's a bunch of them that make these exact same arguments that I pretty much made, and it's good because like the whole point was that Scotus's entire problem that he had with the Dominican, because it wasn't technically.
Of course,
it wasn't technically like a Aquinas problem yet.
Yeah, so I was waiting for you to bring
Dominicans-
up the desperate relations.
Yeah, because like the biggest problem that Scotus had was that we have to be able to epistemically justify the Filioque, right? Like in his view. So we can't basically apply some form of metaphysical band-aid, right, to make it necessary. It has to be epistemically the case first, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why he utilizes the psychological argument from Augustine as a means to try to justify the Filioque, rather, which, like I said, I don't agree with the psychological argument, and I argue against it all the time. But it is, in my opinion, the best argument for the Filioque if I were to name one, because Scotus's argument requires the psychological analogy of Augustine, and you have to understand the difference between intellection and volition and things like that.
Of course, and that's why I'm trying to get better with SCOTUS, but like the formal distinctions, like desperate relations according to formalities, don't like it's something I can't wrap my head around perfectly. So that's also why I can't continue
like
this further.
When it comes to like formalities and stuff like that, because I'll tell you this, because we hold the same understanding of like what a formality is in the East. Picture the fact that you possess, for example, love as an accident, right?
Yes.
And we have a definition that we apply to love in a particular manner, which is like an instantiation of love in the way that it's being utilized in a certain way. And then in some way, shape, or form, this points towards some kind of universal grounding for love in general, right? The ultimate love, the universal love, right? That definition, it's an objective definition that we apprehend. It's not something that we invent. That is a formality in God. That's what they're saying.
Okay, I see. And then my last part, this is kind of a separate topic. Is it okay if I bring this up, or would you like to bring something else up?
You're good.
Awesome. So I have a quick question. Some Oriental is bringing this up to me, and so it's going to be about Chalcedon. Okay. What do you do? You think that like when we say like Theodoret, for example, in his letter to letter 113 to Leo, and like saying that he's the only one that can restore his bishopric, and then Leo restores his bishopric, which we see in session 2 and 3. Oh wait, I feel like you've had this conversation with, I can't remember the guy's name.
Jason. And Talon.
Maybe
actually no, Talon. Yeah, I had a formal debate with him on this specific topic.
Yeah, I think it is Talon.
Yeah.
So and you handled it really well.
My entire point that I always give regarding the whole restoring to bishopric section is I always ask, prior to the council happening, can you name any other bishops or patriarchs prior to Chalcedon that actually anathematized Theodoret? Because my entire argument is that none of the other patriarchs weren't in communion with him already. Like they were already in communion with him. So when Leo says, I restored his bishopric, everyone around him was like, okay.
Yes, like, but then I got a question about like session 8 when they like vote and it's like, yo, should we bring this dude back? And I was like, yeah. Was that just like a formality, like double checking?
Theodoret or Maximus of Antioch?
Theodoret, don't they clarify him in session 8?
Yes, but they also clarify Maximus of Antioch as well. That's why I was curious.
So it's just clear. Okay.
Maximus of Antioch was in a similar situation because he was appointed as the patriarch of Antioch at Ephesus 2. And then when Ephesus 2 was annulled, Maximus of Antioch was kind of in a limbo state. Yes. And one of the argumentations...
I don't know too much about.
That's another type of argument that's used sometimes for the papacy is that
I've heard that
him,
once.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But my entire point that I always give to that is, look, there's no
point.
patriarchs that genuinely actually say, I'm not in communion with Theodoret, right? Like none of them actually say that they're excommunicated. Theodoret doesn't even complain about getting excommunicated from any other patriarchate.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing with Maximus of Antioch, where during Ephesus 2, Rome was the only patriarchate that did not accept it at that time, which is a good thing, right? Rome was correct on that. All right. Everyone else was kind of ascending to it, whether it be political coercion or whether it be because of some form of ignorance, something like that.
So this just makes the case for primacy, basically. That's what you're saying.
Not even honestly, like I would be okay with saying something like that. But when I'm talking about specifically how they try to show that, then therefore that also concludes to like a supremacy value that leads to an infallibility thing where they then quote the Tome of Leo, right? They'll be like, the Tome of Leo is an ex cathedra statement. And then, like, you know, you go all there.
I wouldn't even claim that. I wouldn't say that at all, that it agrees to Vatican I definition. I wouldn't even claim that.
It's kind of like a dumb argument that I use sometimes. But, when it comes to, like, the papacy stuff, like, usually I always look back. And I don't use the Chieti document as, like, a... because that's a low tier thing to try to use the Chieti document, in my opinion. Like if you quote it as like a look here, like this statement right here, you're supposed to ascend to this.
One, but there's so much mixed feelings about that. But
so one of the statements that are made in it by Pope Francis is that the West never actually attempted to exercise canonical jurisdiction over the East in the first millennia. It states that verbatim by Pope Francis. Right. So I always quote something like that. Like I'll just be like, look, I was like, you make all of these, like all the papist guys, like the guys that do super, super big papacy stuff. Because I always tell them, I'm like, look, dude, I'd rather debate about the Filioque, because guess what? If the Filioque is true, Roman Catholicism is pretty much true at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If the Filioque is false, the papacy has to be false because it's a matter of faith and morals.
No, of course. Right?
Like it was delivered at Lyons II and at Florence by the Pope.
But wouldn't you agree? Like, and this is just like a position I was thinking about. Even if the Filioque is true, that doesn't necessitate papal supremacy.
I would say that even if, for example, if for some reason I accepted the Filioque, I wouldn't automatically become a Vatican II observing Roman Catholic.
I agree. I agree with you.
There's a lot of other things that a lot of other sects that affirm the Filioque, even in just like, for example, like I don't know, set of a conscience is a little much. But like obviously like there's other like, you know, little groups and stuff like that are more trad and more less trad, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then like freaking stuff like that. Now granted, I've said many different times on stream that if I discovered for some reason that Orthodoxy is false, that I would probably be Roman Catholic next. I'm just being real.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna assume that if Eastern Orthodoxy is false that now I have to go all the way back to rejecting Chalcedon and become Coptic. Right, like that's a dumb move, and a lot of people don't realize that because they hate Eastern Orthodoxy so much. That I've talked to that are Catholic, they like say like, "Oh, dude, I'll become a Miaphysite before I come EO," and I'm like, "Wait a minute." So the church that was in communion from the time of Chalcedon to Nicaea II, or to the time of 1054, all of that was just bunk. If EO is false, then everything past the year 451 is bunk. Like, are you serious?
Yeah,
like,
so that's what I was going to bring up, actually. This is my last thing about Mia was bringing up to me. And it's pretty bad because you just had to refute Ephesus 2. But it goes like, you know how Dioscorus in session 1, like they say like, yo, we got to get this guy out of here because Pope Leo said so.
Yeah.
But we also see in Constantinople 6, it says that, sorry. Whoa, that's not a thing.
Constantinople 6. I was about to say, I was like, I don't know that one.
No, that one's not a thing yet. No, I meant, Constantinople 1, Canon 6. Sorry. Jumping into a new year. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Canon 6 and Constantinople 1, it says like someone not in faith, so let's say someone anathema or someone like condemned, is unable to depose another person, right? So for example, in Ephesus 2, we see that oh my gosh, someone just DM'd me making fun of me. And now we see in Ephesus 2, Eusebius is condemned. I don't remember why exactly, but he's like
condemned. Like I mean, like, are you talking about like the Nicaea 2 stuff?
Oh no, in Ephesus 2, when Eusebius is Loki being hated on, and then he tries to depose Dioscorus. He does. Dioscorus in Chalcedon, right? Would you grant that it, like, this is my contention with it, right? And I wanted your opinion, and then I'll head out because I'm sorry for wasting your time.
You're good.
But my thing is, do you think a non-ecumenical council has the ability to bind an anathemization?
Do I believe that an ecumenical council has what?
A non-ecumenical council. So Ephesus 2. Does Ephesus 2 have the ability to officially anathemize someone at the highest binding authority?
No, I don't
Of course.
believe that a local synod has the ability to bind the
Of
entire
course.
church's
So
conscience.
then you would agree. That it was a valid deposition of Eusebius condemning Dioscorus.
Condemning Dioscorus at Ephesus too.
Oh no, at Chalcedon for murder.
Chalcedon for murder. Well, so I mean that's an entirely different situation, of course. I mean, like there's a difference between like somebody being condemned for geopolitical reasons or being condemned for moral law, right? Versus somebody being condemned theologically. Like I believe that anybody's capable of just throwing an anathema at somebody for moral
Well,
law.
he was excommunicated.
Right.
I mean,
he was excommunicated, obviously, like
Yeah.
after the entire
he
church
refused to
got
show up.
into all that kind of stuff, and he refused to
Yeah.
show up. Like there's
Yeah.
there's a ton of stuff. He broke canon law, right? Like he did a lot of
Yeah.
things wrong.
And so that's what I was, because the position that the Miaphysites hold, of course, is that this breaks Canon 6 in Chalcedon of someone that has been anathema to, to depose someone else. And I just want, my response was the same as yours. And I just wanted to see if you would be in agreement that it's not an official anathema if it's
No.
not in a ecumenical council.
Yeah, no, like if somebody declares anathema on something, like there's a process to stuff like that. It's never been an official, like anybody can just throw the word anathema and someone's just gone. 1 second.
Super chat of $5. If you had a fallback list of churches, the Roman Catholics, etc., how far down the list is Southern Baptist?
I'd say probably 15 denominations. Sorry, dude. I don't know if you're asking that because you like think that like you are one or something, but like I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like Southern Baptists are absolutely cooked with like so many different things. Like the fact that they genuinely think that the wine was actually just grape juice is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like that blows my mind.
The little cups at church they have you seen that?
Yeah, dude. Like, forget. Like, there's
It's
just
bad.
there's some crazy
It's
stuff
bad.
that the Baptists be talking about. Not gonna lie, to me, if EO is false, then Christianity is probably false. See, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, as much as I believe that Eastern Orthodoxy is the true church, I've always been the type of person, and call me a freaking ecumenist if you want, bro. But if Eastern Orthodoxy ends up being false, I do believe that Christianity is not just cooked on its own, man. Like
Humanistic dog.
Yeah, I know. Somebody
dog.
Somebody shoot me.
Yeah, but
Right.
somebody
Dog.
make an old calendar Zealot video about him.
I wouldn't be TO if I found out that EO was false. I would never collapse into that shit. TO is like one of my bottom of the. I'd rather be a deist
You
before
think
I'd
you
be
would ever
TO.
become Ethiopian Orthodox? Ethiopian? Ever there?
No, I'd feel out of place. I'm just being real.
Hey,
I'd be
Bryce,
out of
why
place.
is
I
that?
do have a Tawahedo church like 20 minutes away from me though.
Oh
How
my
do you
God.
feel misplaced from the Universal Church?
Because that church doesn't really feel very universal at times. Let's just say that. I'm not saying it's not, but the demographics.
What are you
are
trying to
pretty wild.
say? What are you trying to say, Bryce J?
You know exactly what I just said. What are you talking about?
No, could you elaborate, you racist piece of shit?
I never
What
said
are
I
you
wouldn't be a
trying to
part of it. I just said that I'd feel out of place.
Bryce J guy.
I never said that I would like say, nah, I'm never being that shit because the black people
Dang,
are at
someone
that
said
church.
ecumenist.
Can I
Like,
tell you
what are you
something,
talking
Bryce?
about, bro?
You would fit in perfectly with the Ethiopians because y'all all both have big ass foreheads, so you would fit in perfectly.
Oh, but I'm racist, right? But the dude just said all
That has nothing to
Ethiopians
do
have
with
big.
race.
Yeah,
I have
no,
a
you
big
did-
forehead. And so do you. We're both Slavs.
All right,
And I got a lot of
Yo.
restrictions.
I have to
Theon's been here
drop him. You got my live freaking restricted, dude. Thanks.
Bro, somebody
that.
followed him right before he dropped. They heard the Ethiopian comment and decided to follow up.
Somebody freaking reported my live, dude.
Oh my gosh.
I would take Dion like only a paragraph to freaking.
He's
Man,
always going to sound the same.
Dion, get my ass in trouble. I can't bring you up for 10 minutes, Dion. It says I'm restricted for 10 minutes. You gotta wait.
Yo, Bryce.
Okay, well, I think I asked all my questions, Bryce, and I really appreciate you.
I appreciate
for
it.
being so kind.
Yeah, I appreciate
of course,
you,
man.
Nathan. It was a good convo.
Of course. God bless.
God bless.
Yo, Bryce, you probably see me in your Discord, low-key.
I think
I
so.
asked Abdul to give me like an arc, and then he just deferred me like Kata. But he hasn't elaborated on what he like really meant. So like I just want to know if you have like a a logical argument against like Miaphysis. Like I just want to know like a counter position.
I don't usually make specific argumentations against Miaphysis. I mean, I defend Diophysis all day, but I don't sit there and try to make specific arguments against Miaphysis like I do with like Filioque or defending EED or something. Like it's not. I've never been a big Christology guy. It's the reason why I usually purport to people like Abdul and Kata.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you just want to talk about that stuff, like talk about
Kata to get in
diophysitism, like I don't care if you want, but like I'm not sitting up here making some like logical syllogism that like collapses you into X dumb worldview here. Like I don't really care for that.
No, like I haven't really like I'm not like too fully like enveloped in like Diophysite Christology, but I've like understood like Miaphysite Christology a bit more. I see it a little more prevalent in the fathers just from like a base reading. That's
Because they say one.
Oh well. Well, I mean, it's like it's kind of like that double affirmation of one and then like negating two, but
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of the logic that I follow when it comes to like interpreting the fathers with stuff like that. Is I take it the same perspective that I take the fathers on the Filioque, right? There's plenty of situations that I can obviously show all day that can make me look like a papist. Oh, look here, this guy says and the Son, therefore that's got to be Florence, right? That's got to be Severan Miaphysitism. There's no way that it's not, because he says one incarnate nature of the Word. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you see things like that, and then like obviously there is parsimonious interpretations, right? Like like the parsimony to that would obviously be, okay, so one nature, right? That's parsimoniously what you would assume if it says that there's one nature. Okay, so then there's one nature, right? But non-parsimoniously, of course, there could be further explanations towards these things based off of, I don't know, certain assumptions or certain other things that maybe that father holds to that possibly leads to making them a heretic by holding what they hold to. Like, let me put it like this. You know how St. Gregory, like, I don't know if you've read this, Tanner, but have you ever seen the work where St. Gregory Nazianzen says that the two natures are mixed?
I think so.
That's Nyssa.
Gregory of Nyssa says that?
Yes.
This is why I'm not a Christology guy. I just know the quote. So that specific statement, right, that's made, that he says that two natures are mixed together.
Yeah.
Right? At parsimoniously, you'd say, oh, he's Eutychian. Right? You'd be like, he believes in a mixed nature.
Oh, are you referring to the Great Catechism, chapter 11?
I think so, yeah. But like I'm saying, like parsimoniously though, like in a simplistic interpretation of that verse, right, of that section, you read that they are mixed, and you immediately and you think back to like, wait a minute, who was condemned for believing that shit? Right, there was somebody condemned for that, right? And then like even the Miaphysites condemn him, right? So like that's why there has to be, okay, we need to understand what he means by mixed, right? St. Gregory of Nyssa doesn't mean the word mix the same way that Eutyches meant the word mix, right? Yeah. But you have to read into both of them to understand that.
Elaborates pretty well, because actually, like in the same chapter, he says whether you're, hold on, I'm trying to go off memory, but he says like whether you inquire in which ways like the two natures are mixed, you should first analyze the composition between soul and body. It goes something along the lines of that. I forgot.
Yeah, like when it comes to like soul and body and being able to denote one single subject, right? That's the way in which something would be mixed, right? But that doesn't necessitate that then therefore now there's only one set of properties that can be denoted in the subject, right? Like that's the kind of thing that then leads to the more Eutychian view. Yeah. Because like even in the Miaphysite view, you guys would obviously believe that the human nature is distinct, right? Really distinct from the divine nature, right?
It's not like there's a mix.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's not one singular denotable nature in all reality, right? And it's in itself.
You're not a Miaphysite host?
No, that's not what?
You're not a Miaphysite host?
No.
But Cyril says one composite nature after the union.
Dion, what are you doing, bro? You're on your alt. You think I'm stupid? I can pick your voice out from 5 miles away because I can hear your Balkan. I can hear your Balkan ass in your voice. See, I can hear exactly. Thank you.
You're like the only guy that ever says Bryce J.
Yeah, he's the only person that calls me Bryce J. Out of like anybody. Everyone else comes over and they say, "Hey, Bryce."
Your name
Even if
is
they've
Bryce
never met
J.
me. Even if they've never met me, they call me Bryce, right? But then you come up here and
Bro,
you're
if
like,
I
"Hello,
met you in real
hello,
life,
Bryce
I
J."
would call you Bryce.
Hello,
If
Bryce
I met
J?
you in real life, I'd call you Bryce J.
That's crazy, bro. I can't believe that.
It's part of
No,
his name, bro.
real ones just call him Justin.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bryce
But
James.
Anyway, Tanner, right? So like, due to the fact that like obviously you'd believe that there is a human nature and a denotable divine nature that are really distinct from each other because of the fact. Oh, sorry, 1 second.
I like the regular show
Super
thing.
chatted
Yeah.
$5. Matthew 11:11 Jesus says there no one greater than who? John the Baptist or John THR Orthodox? Get schooled, nerd.
Oh, yes, nobody is greater than John the Baptist, and his name is John the Baptist, not John the Orthodox. See, this guy knows what he's doing. See, all right,
Thinking
fine.
outside the
You
box.
seen the
Southern
new
Ba-
regular show reboot?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard about that.
Well, you're not a true regular show fan, but you want to use their theme song?
Bryce Justin James, dude, that guy's got ball knowledge on me. Holy shit.
It's because I literally just said Justin.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like,
And I
'cause that's my
literally said
baptismal
James.
name and my middle name, bro. That's crazy.
Bryce James. What's your
But,
last name? Is it like French,
Uh,
English?
For,
Yo, Bryce, what should my baptismal name be?
It's
Should it be,
Chinese. You wouldn't
should it be
believe
like
it, Dion.
Tanner, Anthony, Cyril, Severus, Philoponus?
Are you,
Are you
that,
trying-
are you
Wait, you
serious
forgot-
right now?
are you
forgot
trying to be
Tatu.
Philoponus, bro?
You
Yo,
forgot
they would not
Tatu
let me
in
do
there.
Philoponus, bro.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I think Philoxenus of Mabuk is a little cooler.
Yeah, no, I'm not Philoponus. Loki, Loki heretic, bro. I can't even lie.
Well,
No,
I was about to say, I was like, you want to take the safe route in your view, bro? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, a shit ton of your guys is like disagree with each other in the
Bryce
beginning.
James, so much aura.
Oh no, we all like anathematize Philoponus for Loki being tritheist.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about like freaking the difference between like Jacob, right? Jacob of what was he from? The difference between Severus, Jacob, and Philoxenus, right? The difference in like the way that they talked about metaphysicism is some wild shit, bro. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You think there's a difference between them?
I
actually
think
haven't,
so
like, read-
personally because like freaking Abdul has showed me like a bunch of the stuff that they said in their works and like it's just like it's wild how much they like said things about how we denote one. Like they have completely different views on how we denote one nature. Like it's wild like how they all come to it. I'm not saying that automatically means they're contradicting each other in their actual view, but the way that they actually come to the conclusion of metaphysitism is different all three ways around. Like
Bryce,
it's crazy.
question, Bryce.
Yo,
When you pray, do you put your head to the ground like Jesus?
I do prostrate sometimes. Yeah,
Ah, he's
Do you
Muslim.
know? Do you know what the Noor is?
the Noor,
Yes, Noor.
Noor. No,
It's the light, and I can tell, brother, that you prostrate yourself because the light's given to those who.
I already know what he's gonna do. He's gonna say that the light's shining off of my forehead. See, I'm reading him like a book.
Oh, yo, that's aura. Yo,
Reading him like a
MJ,
book.
there's nothing wrong with. I have nothing wrong with Philoxenus. I have a problem with Philoponus.
You have a problem? Why is Philoponus a saint in your church?
No.
No, he's not. Well, why do people talk
Right,
about
yes.
him a lot then? There's a dude in my Discord server named Philoponus. Is that you?
Yeah, that's Miki, bro. You know Miki?
Yeah, I know Miki. I've known Miki for years, bro. He's been in my
Yeah,
server
bro.
since I created it like 2 years ago.
Dude, Miki's the goat, bro. This dude's so funny.
He's stayed in my server since I made it, bro. And he's always just been like the one loud ass meophysite that I keep in the server. Like it's just, like he stays inside of the Christology channel and he just defends meophysitism with his life for the past 2 years against people that join my server. It is the funniest thing ever.
Agan, explain
he's the
EED. Agan,
Agan,
can you please
explain
explain
EED.
EED?
Agan, explain
Oh,
EED.
please explain
Agan,
EED.
define EED.
Agan, please define EED.
for me. Please,
Dude, I
Agan.
swear, like the OC just like brain rot leaks into your server sometimes.
Oh, dude, my
I can see
my
it.
server is hell. I mean, like I can't even try to say that it's not. My server is a debate sphere server. It's not an Orthodox fellowship server, and a lot of people don't understand that. And I've told people that many times is that my server is a lot more open when it comes to just like fooling around or being funny.
Yeah.
Right? And like a lot of people don't understand that because they'll join and be like, "Oh my gosh, these people in this server are so godless. People are just so against the Christian values." And I'm just like, bro, this is a debate sphere community. This is a bunch of people that want to spur
bro,
it
what
out.
the fuck? What the fuck? You showed his penis. Bryce, in stream. Bryce, in stream. Bryce.
Yo, that's crazy. I just had to end stream on the TikTok side because somebody just flashed. See, this is the reason why that I'm glad that you guys can't see the TikTok side. I do this on purpose. I do this on purpose to protect you guys. All right? The YouTube side, I protect you because of this exact problem. All right? I'm going to go pee real quick. Somebody showed their dick, Barakishi. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. And then when I get back, I'm going to restart the stream on TikTok. But yeah, somebody just like absolutely tried to cook my stream. Somebody flashed their genitals. Cannot believe that happened, bro. That's insane. All right, let's go ahead and see if I can restart the TikTok stream and not get completely banned off of TikTok because of that. That's not good, bro. All right, we've restarted the TikTok stream now. No, his name was Halal. Catholicism is cool. It's funny that you automatically assume that the person it would be is an Orthodox. Would you like to come up here and actually discuss that? I think that my topic is actually perfect for the night because, it's Orthodoxy is true, prove me wrong. You're more than welcome to join on TikTok and, talk about Orthodoxy with me.
Bro, what the actual fuck, bro?
I don't know what happened, bro. That was crazy. Dude, I was looking over at my other
You're
monitor.
welcome. I'm the one who DC'd, bro.
I didn't notice, dude. Like, I was over here reading something on my other monitor because I got YouTube chat on my third monitor on the right and my TikTok thing's on the left. Right? And so, like, I was looking over on the right and then, like, I heard, yo, he showed his penis.
That shit was unexpected, bro. I was like, what the hell?
Dude, that guy had been, like, joining, requesting, and then leaving, and then joining, requesting, and then leaving. Like, I thought, and his name was Halal. So I was like, oh, it's a Muslim that wants to talk maybe about the Trinity or something like that. Oh, Nathan, somebody came up here and they flashed their genitals on stream. It was epic.
Yeah, that was bad, bro. The one time I pulled this.
Hey, Joe, you're saying submit to Rome, but I'd like you to actually convince me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm just being real, like, you're telling me to do something, but, like, I don't see an argument. I was with Halal.
Justin.
They did that to me. Oh, dang.
Yo, bro, this dude Justin just said,
Yo, Justin, Justin, get out of here, bro. I see you in there. Get out of here, man.
Who was it,
bro? We love Justin.
No,
Chill.
it was a guy named Halal.
Yeah, bro. Ironic, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, Bryce, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I have a question. So, like, I was watching this, like, Muslim slideshow, and it was about how, like, in the early church, they venerated, like, I think it was, like, a child predator.
One second.
I'm not Baptist BTW. You and schoolboy bullied me into converting to EO about 18 months ago. Thankful for that. Sending super chats just to support your work.
W bullying, I guess, bro. He super chatted you just to clarify he's not a
He
Southern Baptist.
He clarified. He's like, no, I'm not Baptist. I'm actually EO because you and Schoolboy bullied me into becoming EO. That's funny, bro. Okay, Jesse, go ahead. Sorry, you said something about a slideshow and
Yeah, so like I saw a slideshow and it was like this Muslim guy saying that the like early church venerated a like a church father who supposedly like married a child.
who?
Okay.
Okay,
Wait, give me
who?
a sec. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, let me say like tell me who it is. Like, what do you want? What information you want me to go off of that, bro?
Bryce
Like-
just knows
Bryce
what you're
knows.
Oh, I'd be like, oh yes, I know about the PDF church father.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
of
know
course.
Exactly. Church father.
Bryce got the
Exactly. I
news.
know exactly which PDF church father you're talking about. He's right here. I have notes about it. I'm kidding. No,
Muhammad of Arabia.
sorry, but Orthodox are truly sick. This stream confirms it. What? What have we done? This is piety signaling me? What? Let me guess.
What
Are you
bro,
praying?
is it because-
Are you praying right now?
dude?
Catholicism is Catholicism is cool on YouTube. Are you praying right now, bro?
Nah,
Are you
Benzo,
praying
bro.
right now? Is that what it is? Are you praying right now?
No, it's because I started yelling something that happened, bro. What?
Holier than now, bro.
Joe
that-
is still telling us to submit to Rome, bro.
Jacob
Bryce, we're
is
submitting
that-
to Rome.
Yeah, I guess so, dude. I literally said, please give me an argument to submit to Rome, and he just went, submit to Rome again.
This is high IQ activities, bro.
Yeah, my argument on behalf of Joe is Genie Constantino. What's gonna be the issue?
Hold on. All right, let's see here. Okay, it can't be Jacob the Ascetic, by the way, because he was a monk, dingus. I'm not saying you're a dingus, but whoever made the argument is a dingus. It says that he never got married. By the way, this is just AI. That's the best part about this, too. It straight up just says he was never married, and I didn't even have to look up if he got married. It says that he was an unmarried monk, Christian saint who wrote about solitude. How the hell is that guy somebody who married a child? AI debunked that shit, bro. Just look it up next time. I'm kidding. You're cool for coming up, though. It's all good.
Gemini got
Wait,
you
Bryce. Somebody said submit to Peter the Rock. Have they not heard of Metropolitan
They've
Saba?
never heard of the GOAT Metropolitan Saba, who is literally Peter, by the way. Just so you're aware.
back. Yo, what's the lore on that dude? I'm not tapped in.
Metropolitan Saba? Oh, he's just a he's
Sabanites.
the
They're
metropolitan of the American like Antiochian diocese.
Mm.
Is
Um,
it all?
Here to go.
And
Wait,
he's
is it
incredibly
like-
trad and epic and based and like pretty much everything.
That
Like
is
there's
true.
there's not a single thing that's ever came out of his mouth that I've ever went, damn. Not a thing. Not a single thing. He's epically trad.
Wait, Bryce, I do have a question though. Like, is he like metropolitan of only North America, or is it South America? too?
Buddy, his jurisdiction is the entire universe. Like what?
Technically, but no,
Ah.
like yeah, but he is the metropolitan of specifically the Detroit area, but that spans across all of the Antiochian
What? No, he's
dioceses.
not?
He's in Detroit, I'm pretty sure, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's in New York.
New York, yeah, New
Oh,
York.
yeah, whatever. It's like that's the same thing.
No,
Yo, bro, don't even know his own page. Yo, bro, what the?
Just because I don't know where he freaking physically resides doesn't mean I don't know where.
Bro, we don't even have a. We don't even have a diocese. in
Did you even
Detroit.
watch his recent interview with the GOAT Roots of Orthodoxy?
Yeah. Yo, high key. Yes, that was. It
was a good video.
But high key was amazing, bro.
Yeah,
He shows
I only
us
watch
everything.
like clips of it. I'm not gonna
Bro,
lie.
do you see how soft spoken
Just like
Saba is, bro? Like you could tell he's
Oh,
a monk.
he's so
Like-
soft spoken, bro. It's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, time to submit to Rome, guys.
I did
Hello.
hear that like he's not too good when it comes to like.
I just
talking
haven't been
English,
given
so-
a good reason, bro. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Bryce,
Oh, yo.
submit to Rome, man.
Is there anything like? Are you like an AI or something, bro? Like you actually came up here just to say that again?
He got me. He got me. I'm going down to my local Catholic church today, bro.
I have a Catholic church like down the street from my house. So.
Yo, Bryce, what part
Wait,
of
so would I
New York
find me
is
a
Saba
Catholic
from?
Elisa Lou there?
Wait, you said metropolitan. So you say, oh, Catholicism is cool. Says Saba is pro birth control and allows divorce as well.
That's not true.
That's not true. I was about to say that's not true. And by the way, the whole allows divorce thing as well. It's really funny that I always get these arguments from Roman Catholics, even though that they just call it annulment instead of divorce. That's the best part.
Yeah,
like they just name it something different and then say, oh, but they didn't get divorced. Their marriage just got annulled. And I'm like, okay, bro. Okay, yeah, sure. They just changed the fucking name and just made you fill out a different document, you goober. Like, I'm not falling for that. I trust the church fathers on that matter, and the church fathers actually all there's not a single one that says you can't get divorced. There's not a single one. You can't find a single one. Especially the MAGA host. You think I'm MAGA? You think I'm MAGA?
It's because you're white, Bryce.
Is it because I'm a Christian white person? You automatically think I'm MAGA? Are you serious? Why do you have my chair pillow? Elena put that there. Okay, I'm just using it. I didn't do that.
Will be excused.
No, I'm not MAGA. I think that the left and the right are both actual shills for Israel. Prove me wrong. I'll debate about that right now.
Yo, I'm telling you, bro, next election, it's Baal versus, what's it called? What's that other demon? Malak.
Bryce can't justify why two persons cannot beget. I can use the psychological argument to do that immediately, bro. Are you serious? Like, have you just never debated somebody that understands Augustine's argument for the Trinity? Or
no, dude, he's literally he's came up and he's debated.
It's one of the most simple things when it comes to like the argumentation for why like two persons cannot beget, because that exact question was asked to St. Augustine in De Trinitate. That's one of the actual questions that was asked to him, and that's why he talked about the psychological analogy, where due to the fact that there is one mind, right, then that means that there's one intellection, and that means there's also one volition that occurs. So again, right?
Oh my gosh,
he wants to talk about it. It's gonna be epic.
What's up, Donkey?
Did you understand the argument?
Bryce just affirmed Filioque, y'all. It's too low.
No,
it's
I
too
did.
easy.
The psychological analogy doesn't necessarily Filioque low tier.
He did just confirm Filioque here.
Total SCOTUS W.
Google Street View shows Israeli flag on Bryce's front yard. Yo, you're actually lying. You can
That's
ask
true.
my wife.
I was at Bryce's house, guys.
No, actually, I debated with
And
Kata.
you can't deny it because I was.
Okay. Okay, dude. Anyway, Servant, do you understand the argument that I just gave as to why there can't be two begetting?
The psychological argument?
The psychological argument from St. Augustine regarding intellection and volition, yes.
I don't understand it, but if you even succeed to justify that...
Did you just say that you don't understand it? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I didn't understand what you said.
I'm sorry to hear that. Wait, you do understand?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll explain it. When it comes to a mind, right, there is a mind itself, there is the intellect, right? That is the thinking of the said mind, right? That is the thought process of the said mind, the reasoning of the said mind, etc. And then there is the volition of this thing, or the intention or will for this thinking, etc. Right? You have these three things that make up pretty much the mind of something. That is an analogy that is utilized for the Trinity in terms of the way that the processions occur, due to the fact that the Father alone is denoted in this analogy. Don't you strawman me, because I know you're going to do it. In this analogy, specifically when it comes to processions, as the unbegotten one, which is the mind itself, that then causes intellection to occur. Therefore, there can only be one intellect in one mind, and then therefore the procession of volition, there can only be one volition that occurs in the mind itself, and the reasoning for this volition is found in the intellect. No, Isaiah, that's not the Filioque, and we're good now.
No, I'm sorry. I already debated Kata on it, bro.
I know. Okay.
So let me summarize. Let me summarize what you said now.
Sure. Okay. Go
First time I hear this kind of jargon. So you're saying...
Did you just say that was jargon?
No, jargon. Jargon. You know what jargon means?
No.
Yeah, it's a French, means your lexicon. This is a new lexicon for me.
Okay.
So no problem.
Sorry, I thought you said jargon. I was like, bro, that's crazy. I was like, I was like, that's not crazy.
No problem. So you've actually given titles to three persons, as one is the mind, one is the the intention. I cannot put them in order. And here is the problem with that. The problem, what justifies those titles? One person can have that title and not the others. Because here is the point, Mr. Price. A person can only act according to the nature he possesses.
Here we go.
Whatever
I know this
characteristic,
argument.
whatever characteristic a person has, it's grounded from the nature.
All right. So do you want to just actually address the whole act by nature argumentation then? Because like that's a little bit different than you asking me why there can't be two begettings or why there can't be two begetters. Because it's slightly different.
It's the same thing.
It's really not.
Because you bring in titles that I would say, where are they grounded from?
The titles for the persons in the psychological analogy.
And this and that,
They're by nature, sure. I can say
so
that.
they cannot ground from the nature.
Yeah, the formal constituents of the persons are grounded in the nature. Yes, I can see that. Go ahead.
It's the terminating subject that's different.
Yeah,
that's
they're terminated in the subject, but the foundation or the grounding, right, for the existence of said formal constituents are in the essence of God.
Who holds the title intention? The Son or the Father?
Who holds the title intention? The Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
Volition.
So can the Son hold that title?
In the psychological analogy, it doesn't make much sense to try to do that because of the method by which the Holy Spirit.
But he has the nature. He can access that title the same way.
So there's a difference between material identity and formal identity. Do you also know that? Yeah, he's a Filioque. He just affirmed the Filioque.
What you just said now, that's my argument, right? So what did you say now? What did you say now? Yeah.
Wait. So what I just stated, you said that's your new argument, and what do I say now? Is that what you just said?
I'm saying you've arrived to refute me. Why would a characteristic not be accessible to one person and not the other, since they are both grounded in nature?
Because a formal constituent, because a formal constituent, even though that it's the foundation for the formal constituent itself, right, without denoting a person, is found in the essence. The actual termination of said formal constituent is in a person, right? So then therefore, if the termination, okay, there's a cause, right? So we'll say that the essence, right, is the cause, right, for paternity.
Sure.
Right. And then the effect of paternity would then therefore be a hypostasis called the Son. So then therefore the Son can't possess said paternity because of the fact that he is the effect of paternity existing in the first place.
No. I'm not saying that the Son has to beget the Father. Can the Son beget another divine person? I'm saying, Bryce, can the Son inherit the begetting property? That's all.
No, because there is a perfection of said thing. Would you agree that at least the way that we would hold in our view and in your view that everything in God is perfect, right?
Sure.
Okay. So then if God were to hold some form of property, that the actualization of said property would have to be perfect, right?
Okay, I'm going to say yes and see where it is going, yeah?
Okay, would you say that if it is actualized in two different ways, right? Like, for example, the singular property is done in two different ways, that then therefore that would imply some form of composition, right?
Wow, my brother, you're losing me, man. You're losing me, brother.
You know what a composition is? Do you know what a composition is?
Well, I know. Maybe those are many concepts that I have to break down now. I mean, I'm just asking a question, man, Bryce.
Okay.
You're not answering my question.
I'm trying to show you the necessity as to why there has to be one person that causes another person in a particular manner.
Let me give an example. You and I are humans. You have your dad.
Sure.
You've inherited a characteristic of begetting.
That's not a real relation.
One second. Because the nature
we're not
allows you to do so.
We're not opposed to our parents. Like in the same manner that a relation is in the Trinity, dude.
No, you inherit the same human nature. And human nature guarantees if one person can beget, the other person can beget, as long as we are healthy, we're not deficient, right? The divine essence the same way. The divine essence, right?
I mean, like when you said like the healthy or that we're healthy, I mean that would be hypostatic. That would be a hypostatic problem if we were unhealthy. The ability to beget would be something that would be by nature, but actualized by a hypostasis. What?
Wait,
servant, the Son is deficient?
Servant, by your own thing you just said, why would you not be your own father then? Because what we're saying...
Yeah, that. Actually,
That's
I was
another
about to
question.
expand on that. Hold on.
That's another question.
I'm going to
Yeah,
expand
go
on
ahead
that.
with
Give me.
that, bros.
Well, hold on 1 second. I'm going to expand on that, what he just said. Right? Would you say that you are lesser in nature of humanity to your own father due to the fact that he begot you and you didn't beget him?
I'm deficient, yeah, because the human nature is not perfect. Yeah.
What? So you're a lesser of a human
If I cannot
because of
have-
the fact
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
you're begotten.
No. If I cannot, I cannot beget myself. I cannot beget children myself. Like also do the same act my father did to other people.
Okay, by
Like, I
nature
can,
you can do that. If you couldn't do it hypostatically, that's an entirely different story
what
due
do you
to the fact that you
can
have a
do it
deficiency.
hypostatically?
Because every human being on the planet naturally can beget every male, right? We'll say every male
who are
can
healthy,
beget.
who are healthy, yeah.
No, I'm saying by nature that every man simpliciter can beget. That is a general.
I
That is a
accept
general
that.
property of
Yeah.
humanity.
Gender property.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So if you cannot beget, that's a hypostatic deficiency, right?
No. Good job. So what? So yeah.
So what deficiency is it?
Yeah, good. In humanity, there might be differences in, let's say, call them hypostatic, because the human essence is not perfect. Would you agree?
Say that again.
The
Say that
human
again.
nature is not perfect among all the persons. It does not guarantee everyone the same. For example, you can be 6'2", I can be 5'4". You can be.
Bro, that's an accident. What are you talking
no way,
about?
Yeah.
no way, bro.
That's
no,
not
hold on.
natural.
Yeah, accidents. So by the way,
That's not
accidents.
natural?
No, accidents are not essential to human nature.
So 6'2"
You don't agree
is
with
not
that?
natural, and maybe 5'4" is not natural.
No, it's an
It is
accident.
not-
It's an accident.
Yeah, it's a natural accident.
No,
accidents with
No,
essential
yeah,
properties.
dude, hold on. There's
Doesn't
essential.
matter,
There's
doesn't
essential
matter.
properties that necessitate you to be human being. Do you have to be? Let me ask you a question. Do you have to be 5'4" to be a human?
No. Not
Okay,
really.
so it's not essential to be human, right? It's not essential to be a human in order to be 5'4", right?
This disqualified. It has to become together. For example, you cannot be. Listen. The human
Bro.
nature guarantees. The human nature
Servant.
guarantees a range of heights. Yes or no?
You're on
Listen,
you're
listen.
on another planet, bro.
Take a deep breath,
Take a
dude.
breath. You're
Listen.
on another planet right now. Just listen.
Guys, stop
No, servant,
stop being
listen,
dishonest,
dude.
guys. It's conceit.
You're not being
Choose a common
dishonest.
ground.
Hey, come on.
Can a person
stop
act
talking.
outside of his nature? Yes
Hold
or
on,
no?
hold on.
What the hell you mean common ground? I got me up here. I got a Catholic up here, and I got a me and Fizzlite up here, and we're all clowning you.
Can a person have a characteristics outside of his nature? Yes or no?
What are you?
No.
Okay. Where does the begetting come from?
Where does the?
Of the divine person.
I'm going to show
Of
you.
the
Oh, wait.
Father.
So I already said that the formal constituent of paternity, which is the thing that utilizes begetting, that thing, the foundation for that is the essence. I already said that.
Okay. If the Father can take that characteristics from the divine essence, why can't the Son also get it?
Because
That's my-
if the father utilizes paternity and God does everything perfectly, there is no need for a second principle to exist in order for begetting to occur again.
But tell me he can.
What?
Tell me the Son can. Can he beget?
I said there was a reason why he can't beget.
Can the Son beget? Yes or no?
Because the Father is the first in logical order.
doesn't want to answer
So
me,
if
guys.
the Father is the first in logical order, if the Father possesses the power to beget, he does it adequately and perfectly when he does it. Therefore,
sorry,
that the
can the
effect
Son
of this
beget
said thing
another
would be the
person?
Son. I said
Can the Son
no. I said no due to
Then
the
it's an
fact.
inconsistency.
Are you going to let me clarify or no?
Wait,
Can I clarify?
You lost the argument.
How is it a loss?
You didn't justify it.
All right. So you wouldn't let me. Are you going to let me?
Yeah, well, we have been talking for a while now.
I've been trying to. Do you want me to
Yeah,
try?
it's grounded from the okay.
Do you want me to try?
Is the person of the Son, right? Deficient or lacking anything the Father has? Yes or no?
The only thing that he lacks what the Father has is paternity. So in terms of
God
like the actual,
lacks something?
Bro,
are you
that's
serious? There's
that's
no
a-
way. There's
Thank
actually
you.
just no way, servant.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You said the person lacks something.
Sure,
Thank
dude.
you, man.
Yeah, you have no idea what our position
the divine
is. when I say
essence
that.
is unlimited. You can, if you and I have the divine essence, we lack of nothing.
There's actually no way.
Wait, servant. Wait,
It's a
servant.
hypostatic property, bro. Like there's
Servant,
actually
And if you
no
can
way that
beget,
you're
I
that
can
lost.
beget. Yeah. Go ahead, Mizo. Okay.
Wait, so
What's
do you
up?
believe that Allah begets himself? Or
I cannot believe this.
Allah begets himself?
So would you?
Yeah.
So would you? So would you?
unless you want to be in violation of your own Quran?
Okay, but I don't know. You wanna insert
Because
Allah?
I'm
No
lo- I
problem.
mean, no, wait, hold
Servant,
on.
I mean, does
Servant,
he
I'm
lack-
using your own logic against you, though.
What's my logic? Steel man me, Mazir, first. First, steel man me first.
Yeah,
Before
you
speak.
believe that for us saying that the Son lacks in the property of begottting the Spirit or just begottting in general,
A person, yeah.
talking hypothetically, of course, then you believe that we're also saying that God lacks in something. Is that what you're saying?
That's not my argument. Since
Wait, is that
since-
not
That's
what you just
exactly
said?
what came out of your
No, no,
mouth.
I'm
sir.
gonna add.
exactly
I'm gonna
why
add to.
you
I'm gonna
called
add to
out
that.
Bryce
Mazio,
James.
I'm gonna add to that. Since Bryce
All right,
conceded that the paternity is grounded in the divine nature, therefore the Son should be able to beget another person.
Wait, hold on,
That's what I said.
Imminent, dude. Imminent and
By the way,
transient
John of
acts.
the
He's just
Mass-
putting them.
arguments.
He's making them one thing. Imminent and
Hold
transient
on.
acts. He's
Wait,
making
hold
them
on.
one thing.
Servant, by the way, John of Damascus in I think it's book 3, chapter 2, he literally calls it a heresy to mix up hypostatic properties and external properties.
What's the difference?
Yeah, the difference is that one is predicated to the hypostases of someone. We
And the
make
other
a
one? And the other one?
Yeah. An essential property is something that's predicated
Yeah.
to a nature.
Tell that to Bryce, because Bryce conceded
That's what,
that
dude. Bryce
the paternity
literally-
comes from the
Bryce
essence.
agrees with John of Damascus.
Wallahi. Okay, maybe.
You didn't understand what Bryce was saying.
Okay, ask him again. Ask him again. Just ask him now. Ask him in response so he can correct.
Right.
We're casting pearls of swine at this point, bro.
Go ahead.
God.
Go ahead, Mazio. Ask him.
Yeah, Bryce. So asking you servant's question again. What do you believe that begottting is a property of the nature? Or of hypostasis?
Dude, the grounding for the property is in the nature, but the actual property itself is a hypostatic property.
Exactly.
Oh my God, what does it even mean? What does it even mean? That's
What do you mean? What does that even mean? Hold on, I'm going to show you. Servant. Servant.
I don't understand.
Just give it a second. The grounding, right, for begetting, for humanity is in humanity itself, right? The grounding for the ability to beget. Okay, so if you don't beget, are you not a human?
I'm still human.
Wow. So you're still human even if you don't beget.
So what?
So there's a foundation for begetting, right? But then utilizing the action of begetting is hypostatic then, right? It's personal.
No, it's just I did not inherit.
So then if you don't, so that with your logic then, servant, if you don't beget, you are a different freaking species, bro. That is that is the logic.
I like that, and I accept that. So,
You accept that?
one second. For example, do you agree a male? Bryce,
It's
do you
over,
agree?
bro.
Do you agree that two types of human nature?
I'm not doing this anymore. The fact that he conceded this shows that he has nothing left. There's no way.
Oh my gosh.
He literally said, "I accept that. If I don't have a kid, I'm just not human anymore." The craziest concession I've ever had. Like, are you serious, bro? A baby could get this crap down. That's insane.
Nah, bro. Islam is still true, though.
Man, who said that shit, bro?
Yo, is that like an Islamic filioquist?
He was an Islamic filioquist, yeah. He was a filioquist.
We've lost the
Yeah.
blood, bro.
Yo, so cool.
Yeah, he
Dude,
actually. I argued about the
use
psychological analogy to him, and he accidentally affirmed the filioque way, and I couldn't hold my laughter back. I was like, bro. He's like, okay, so the son then also so then the mind and the intellection that also causes the spirit. Then I'm like, no.
Holy base, bro.
No.
Holy base. Base SCOTUS servant, bro.
See, he gets it, bro. He gets it.
Bryce was cooked and ran and dropped me. Servant, bro, you need to retrieve your humanity.
Bryce was cooked and ran and dropped me. You admitted that if you don't have a kid, you are literally not the same species as me. You're a nominalist. There's nothing left.
It's over.
You're just a complete nominalist. You can't even name species now.
Bro's a nominalist, filioquist, Islamic,
Islamic, nominalist, filioquist.
Unitarian.
Dude, Bryce, you should just make that a clip on its own, bro.
I don't, yeah. Whatever, bro.
That's just insane. Nietzsche speaks of this.
Nietzsche speaks on this, bro. You guys just ain't read it.
No, he had.
Nietzsche, no.
Have you read it?
Yeah, Bonaventure already refuted this.
based. Oh my gosh, I agree.
I don't read Nietzsche.
Yo, what does Nietzsche actually like even write about genuinely? Other just been like
Yeah.
All
Make
rise,
sure you still
all
dress
rise,
this.
all rise. The Ubermensch is actually kind of like low key true though.
does he have any good writings?
Like I said, like his entire treatise on God is dead is not politically false.
What is he even like?
Yeah.
Because what he means
Dude,
by
yeah,
God is
dude.
dead is that everyone in society has killed their belief in God. All rise the Ubermensch, which is the Overman. Right? It's basically saying everyone in
there's a lot
society
of,
has
like-
killed God, therefore man will become God. It's not. He wasn't even supporting it. Hilariously enough, I hate that I'm supporting Nietzsche right now, but again, that part he was cooking on. All right.
This is my opinion.
Even though,
Honestly,
so
like-
his reductios created created nihilism, but he himself, I would say, is not a full nominal or nihilist.
He's an
Yeah, I
existentialist.
heard he.
Yeah,
wrote
he was a negative
something.
deist. Actually, it's called a negativist deist.
Interesting.
Wait, so he was like an apophaticist.
Well, Bryce,
No,
you don't have to add that
negative
into the
as
contrary.
in no negative as in I affirm it, but I don't care. Basically, that's like the mindset. I affirm it, but I don't care if you do. Genuinely,
You know what that means, Bryce? That means we got to add that to the impossibility of the contrary.
he was also an existentialist. I agree. Yeah, which is a branch of nihilism technically, but because absurdism and existentialism are like the two main branches of nihilism. But anyway, what's up, you?
Yeah, I got a question.
Is it gonna be good?
Currently, I just started. Huh?
I said, is it gonna be good? I just had a dude come
I
up
kinda
here and
need some
ask
help
me
with
why
something.
why there couldn't be two begetters. So,
W voice crack.
all right, Basil, goodbye.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you.
Yo. So currently, I'm trying to read on some fathers right now, pre-schism fathers, but I don't know what to read right now since currently.
What
I
have
am
you read? Because
practicing
like I
Catholic.
could tell you like which ones to start with if you haven't read Jack, but I need to know what you have read.
Right now, I think pretty sure right now I just read some of Saint John of Damascus. Then I
Damn,
kind of
you going
moved
hard.
on
You
to
going
some
you going hard already. Okay. All right.
chill.
No,
I'm saying you going in
Damascus
you going in hard. You going in hard, bro. But
Yeah, they told me that was like the people they said that was too much for me, but I was like, and then I moved on to Aquinas, and then I was like, maybe that's too much. Whoa.
I thought you said pre-schism fathers. What do you mean Aquinas?
No, at first first I was reading Saint John Damascus. Then I was thinking of reading another father, but I didn't know. Chill. I don't know which like.
No, it's all.
I don't know which like ones I should read.
What
Wait,
work
hold
from
on.
John of
If
Damascus
anything,
did you
just-
read? What work did you read from John of Damascus?
Work? No, I forgot what it was. It was like a giant book, bro.
Found of
Is it
Knowledge?
gospel chapters?
No, the Fountain of Knowledge, probably. Fountain of Knowledge.
It was probably that he was like talking on. He was talking on why the Trinity would be necessary, why the Word has a spirit, why Jesus would be. Yeah. So it was a lot.
Exposition
Oh, yeah,
of the
so
Orthodox.
Like currently, I am
It's
practicing Catholic, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exposure now.
Exposition? Yo, Mezio,
Yeah,
what's going on, bro?
Yeah, hear me out.
yeah,
I
it was,
said
Oh, see,
exposure.
I call it exposure.
Yo, earlier
hear
he
me
also
out.
said begodding, by the way. I just wanted to put that out there.
Wait, dude, yeah. If anything, just don't read his philosophical chapters. They're a little boring. For like the first read.
Philosophical
What?
chapters. Philosophical chapters, begodding.
Philosophical chapters, yo.
They're
Never heard
a
of that
little
one.
boring, dude.
Can't say I heard that one.
Explosion. Explosion.
'cause, like-
All right, chillax. All right. English
Cause
is
right
my
now-
language.
All right, go ahead, you. Sorry.
Because right now, like, I need to find some pre-schism fathers to read. Because right now, I'm practicing Catholic, but I'm kind of agnostic right now. So I just kind of want to like read pre-schism fathers,
Sure.
figure out if I'm gonna become EO or not.
Ah,
Yeah,
Like, I'm
you should
looking
read this
between
guy
EO
named Gregory of Totif. I'm
Oriental.
kidding.
Alright, You. So in all seriousness, when it comes to pre-schism fathers, especially like if you're trying to understand like the first official formulations of the Trinity and the monarchical Trinity, I would read these three people. Okay, I'd read Saint Basil the Great.
Oh boy.
Saint Basil the Great.
Base.
Yep,
pretty
Saint
good.
Basil the Great.
My favorite E.
Saint Gregory of Nyssa
Based.
and Saint Gregory Nazianzen, or Saint Gregory the Theologian is his name as
He's
well.
doing the thing, guys.
Okay,
Yeah, but
those are
is
the
it
cap.
careful?
Those are the
Like,
Are they
Cappadocian
on your
fathers.
server?
Yeah, they're all on my server. Yes.
Or are they on
I
your
mean,
server?
they're not literally in my server. They're in heaven, but like the works are in my server. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wait, but like,
Okay,
specifically what words?
some people told me to read Nestorius and Arius. Should I do that?
Oh my
Alright, bro.
Yeah, are you trolling? Like, I know you didn't just say that shit right now. Who told you that?
Chill. Yo, someone said I should read Barlaam. Who is that?
Okay, that's all right. That's
read him against
that's
the Filioque.
That's specifically Orthodox rage bait. I know now. I think you're rage baiting me right now. Now I think you're trolling me. How do you know who Barlaam of Colossians? How do you know who Barlaam is?
No, it was the comments. It was comments.
Wait, who said
said
Wait,
that?
nobody
Yo.
said that in the comments.
Oh yeah, should
I
read.
swear someone did.
Yeah, should read Barlaam. Yo,
No,
net
trust.
setup. No, bro. Okay, so Barlaam is a 14th century heretic in the Orthodox Church. Don't worry about that dude.
Didn't he become Catholic?
All right. Yes, he did, but he
And then he still
hated the
fried the
Filioque.
Filioque.
And then he still fried the Filioque after. It was actually kind of funny. Give me 1 second.
At Zangrymedic
Actually, read Bryce J. Are we serious?
For the grift. Also, can you address the Fourth Council of Atlantis and its anathema against moisture?
What? Yo, bro, I don't know what that means, but thank you, Angry Medic, for the $5. Always appreciate that. Actually, read Bryce J. Dude, my works are nothing compared to freaking even contemporary freaking scholars, bro. Like, my stuff is a bunch of...
Wait, you have works of your own?
Yeah. I have like 5 or 6 of them. Yeah.
Like,
Bro,
I have a 160-page book on the Filioque, bro. Like, I spurred.
interview and they put you as like a church
I be
father.
spurging.
I had a friend. He said he called you. I had a friend who called you the doctor of the church.
Shut up, bro. You did not have to do that. Yo,
Wait.
tell that dude to freaking come up here so I can yell at him. That's crazy.
wait, Bryce J. though. Wait, have you finished your like 100 premise the defense on tag?
Yeah, I finished it, but it's ass. I mean, like, it's just annoying. Like, it's like it's one of those kind of things where like I could release it, but like, why?
Why?
Like, nobody's gonna use it. It's 120 premises, bro.
No, someone used like a 30 premise argument against monkey logic.
What, for tag or what?
Not tag. I think it was just an argument for God though.
W.
I forget
Bryce,
who it was now.
W. Bryce J. Filioque support, dude. It was not a support of the Filioque. It was the book's literally called Against the Filioquist. It's 160 pages, bro.
You're just writing against me.
Wasting the papers.
Oh yeah, wait. I also wanted to ask.
Yeah.
When we referred to like the nature of Christ, as in the divine nature and the human nature, when we because I was talking to like
Tanner, don't talk.
Yo, Tanner's not allowed to
he was
talk.
just saying
this
that
year,
separation is separation, and it was like kind of throwing me. It was like he was like, oh yeah, separation is separate. He was saying that you're separating the natures. So like, how would you like, for example, if you were to go about when Christ died, you know, because like that's like a pretty annoying topic because it's constantly how many gods died on the cross. It's a really annoying topic to go over. Sure. So like, how would you like specifically go into it? Because I have my own way of going into it, but like I kind of want to see.
I mean,
I
have a funny analogy actually that just shows like the fallacy that's being used in the how many gods died on the cross argumentation. How many presidents died in 2024?
I don't know, 3?
1, Bill Clinton. You're wrong. How many freaking presidents didn't die last year?
1.
1? Okay, I'm all right with that. How many presidents are there?
1.
No, there's 45, dumbass. Right, you see what I'm doing? That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent to the how many gods died on the cross.
Yeah,
Just
it's just it's a type or a referent when we talk about Jesus dying on the
Bryce,
cross.
you didn't have to call me a dumbass.
There is a referent in what we're talking about.
So 45
Isaiah's
gods.
somehow
Thank you
gonna
for
bring
this.
that to Bonaventure.
Tell the chat what you used to do as a spurg when you were evangelical.
Bill Clinton died. I'm pretty sure he did. Hold on.
So when St. Bonaventure talks about Christ and the disputed questions on the
who was it? Who died? Who died in 2024? There was a president.
I think it was Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter. It was Jimmy Carter. Sorry. My bad. I always see pictures of Bill Clinton. And it looks like a literal skeleton. I don't know.
Terrible FBI agent, bro. Doesn't even know which
Bill
one.
Clinton, like, literally just got arrested.
Arrested for what? What could he have possibly
The
done?
island, dude. He got for the island.
Oh my
It was
god.
him and Bill Clinton and like someone else. I forgot what the woman's name was.
Oh no.
Dang, Bryce, someone called you a Messiah agent.
Yo, you. Before you even like look at like Damascene, bro, I would say take it back. Take it back. Pre
Don't look into
451,
Severus.
I would say read like
Here we go.
I would say
Read
obviously
zero,
read
bro.
the three.
Read-
Yeah, not even just the zero, but like Cyril's
No, don't
obviously
even
the
listen
goat,
to
bro.
him.
Cyril's the goat. But like the three
Alright, that's something.
the three Cappadocian fathers, really good. Loki,
No, I've heard about them.
yeah. But yo, read
Yeah,
Cyril,
they're
bro. Read Cyril.
dogma. They're dogma.
Trust.
Saint Basil homily on I think it's Psalms 91 like confirms random people on islands won't go to heaven automatically.
After that, read Pseudo Dionysius the Area.
O3 scumbag for $5. Thank you very
Did you
much.
say
He says,
pseudo?
tell the chat what you used to do as a spurg when you were evangelical.
I mean, he's not really a pseudo.
What I used to do as a spurg when I was evangelical. Well, I mean, like when I used to do
What's a spurg?
apologetics. When I used to do apologetics back when I was like a Pentecostal, like evangelical, it wasn't really actually apologetics unless it was an atheist. Everyone else that like I'd be talking to, like if there were a militant atheist, I would do like apologetics. Let me let that go through first. Hold on.
At Zangrimadic 5974 super chatted $10. How did papal infallibility survive when one pope dug up another pope, put him on trial, excommunicated him, and then a later pope overturned the ruling? Which corpse
True.
is speaking for the Holy Spirit?
That's the cadaver. That's the cadaver synod. You're talking about the cadaver synod that happened in like I think the 900s or no? Is it the 900s?
I actually.
Hold on.
We should all become reformed.
I don't remember when that
Baptists.
was at. It was from Pope Formosus. It was because of Pope
Was that-
Formosus. Yeah, that happened in 897 AD. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, if you want me to like steelman the Roman Catholic position, if that was asked to me, I would probably just say that both, the cadaver synod in of itself was a mistake. And so then therefore, right, it wasn't on a matter of faith and morals. I'm pretty sure usually an excommunication isn't something that directly is faith and morals in their view.
$5. Hey Bryce, I know you and former CIA agent John Kirioko are former co-workers. Did you use your 100 tag argument for torture? Did it work?
Okay.
Yo, they asked the
Okay.
same question that I did.
So yeah, I know that you guys don't believe any excommunication is infallible, Nathan. I do know that because you guys, some of you guys be talking about that with Nestorius, which is wild, but
Voice of reason.
yeah. But
Anathema to Nestorius.
one, I just want to clarify, no, I wasn't a former coworker
Voice of
with
PDL.
John Kiriakou. All right, I wasn't a former coworker with John Kiriakou. That's not true. I'm not in the CIA. I can say that.
Yeah, you're in the FBI.
No, I'm not in the FBI either.
Oh,
I
wow.
think the
In the
CIA
NSA.
are cooler than them. I'm not in the FBI.
Yo,
All right.
CIA was pretty cool. I can't lie.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It was
I got
kings
called an
and shit.
historian by
But-
a Muslim because I
but
made
yes.
a distinction.
But yes, though, I do use my 100 premise tag argument as a form of torture to the enemy. I will say that. I will blast through it too without letting them say a single sentence through those 100 premises. They have to listen to the entire thing, and then at the very end, I put it all together in a nice little cake, and I go ahead afterwards.
Which premise do you disagree with?
Which premise do you disagree with? Go ahead. And then I don't give him a copy of it either.
Can you go say
Gotta
it again?
memorize all of them.
I missed the third
I
premise.
don't even remember that. I can't like 100 premises. Yeah,
Wait.
yeah, bro, you got it, bro.
Wait, yo, hold on. I don't know how to say this dude's name, but haven't I met you before? Because I have you followed. Like,
Who's bro
the
talking
dude was
to?
asking about the church fathers earlier.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Chill, bro. Nobody knows me.
Chill.
Oh, he's niche.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna kick a couple people out here that aren't up here the whole time, just to kind of save some space so people will come up here more. Bryce's tag is influenced by Kabbalah. Correct. Next is papal infallibility thing though. Like if I was Roman Catholic regarding like the infallibility survivor or whatever, excommunications are not considered a matter of faith and morals. And ex cathedra statements in the Roman Catholic Church. So they would just say that the cadaver synod itself was wrong, and the overturning was simply just basically saying, "Hey, you can't do that." it's not. Those weren't matters of faith and morals. At least if I was Roman Catholic, it's how I'd respond to that. Okay, so the thing I did want to talk about though is tell the chat when you used to do or what you used to do as a spurg when you were evangelical. Me personally, I was cringe, bro. I don't even want to say this shit out loud.
No, I used to do stuff too.
Like, bro, like I'm not even kidding you, bro. I used to be the type of guy that would like hold hands out on people and like pray that they just get delivered right then and there. Like, I was cringe, bro. Like, yeah, sure, I was sincere about that kind of stuff, but like on Discord, I'd be like, freaking, you pray for this guy. Like, I was serious.
I went on
about
Roblox, dude. I went on Roblox debating people.
No way. No.
I'm not even kidding.
The fact that dude Eric Coda said Bryce has a cake confirmed, that's insane, bro.
That's a little wild.
That's wild. What's up,
Requiem?
Yo, so
Wait, I have to address something. Somebody said, can we have Bryce as a new bishop for America? How dare you say we need to replace Saba?
Yeah, why would we need to replace Metropolitan Saba? There's nothing wrong with him.
Go ahead, Requiem.
Bryce is
yo,
the bishop
so
of the
Bryce, like when you're talking to that Muslim guy,
oh man,
like you gotta make sure you use the right terms, because like a Thomas might come up here and say the father's inadequate, and then it'll be over for you.
In my opinion, that sounds to me like a concession. I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I'm just not metaphysically
that's
inclined.
The thing. Like when I talk to Catholics, like Thomas also, and they say it's inadequate, I'm just like, yo,
right.
Do you not think you're like blaspheming or something?
It's a simple question, right? If the father can spirate, he spirates. That question is one of the funniest things to talk about regarding the Filioque. If the father can spirate, he spirates.
Yo, but anyway,
and then they have to argue that he just can't. What? Fully.
Getting unbanned.
When are you getting unbanned? Who are you, bro?
Yeah, this is the great Hillary.
Oh, you're Hillary? Oh, hold on. I'll do it right now. See, this is how you get a hold of me. This is the best way to do that. If you're trying to message me on oh yeah, you've been messaging me on Discord. Yeah, you can't be doing that, bro.
Yeah.
What's your actual Discord
Veritas, I don't know if you could tell, but he was trolling.
What? Thomist would say that? You'd be surprised.
Yeah, that's what Justin and Hero told me.
Yeah, Justin and Hero.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me.
Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, in a sense, the father is inadequate to be able to spirate the spirit. That's why the son's necessary. And you're like, what? What's your actual username? Hillary?
It's a Saint, like ST and then dot Hillary.
Hillary. Is that your patron?
No.
We just LARPing. Okay.
So we just LARPing.
No, I like Hillary a lot.
So we
but
LARPing.
I'm gonna choose St. Gabriel, Georgia, for sure.
That's base. Wait. So y'all know that part from Toy Story where they in the store and it just shows a bunch of Buzz Lightyears? That dude's named Gabriel in Orthodoxy.
I'm so confused right now because you're definitely not banned. Hold on.
Sure, what?
Hold on.
I think he's talking about in here. Oh
Bro,
my God, World's here.
Oh, that's my son, World. Yo, Basil, you know who I am?
Yes.
This is the Great Damascus.
The Great Damascus?
The Great Damascus? Are you sure that...
What's up, World?
Oh, I know you.
Yeah, hello.
World, my friend. How are you?
What's up, dude? Good, and you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you're
hey,
not-
how'd
you're
you
not
like
banned,
talking to
bro.
my
When's the last
friends
time
when
you
you got
actually tried to
invited to
join?
that niche server?
I do think that they were really good faith and like, I mean, they were open to like, you know, the position.
Yeah, ask them about Augustine, buddy. And then let's talk about that.
Yeah, I asked them. I did talk to them about Augustine, and ultimately, like, I told them that there were two different ways in which you could receive essence from something. Essence insofar as, like, for example, there is an action, and essence insofar as just satisfaction of identity.
Wait, so World, can you say, and I quote, the Son gives essence to the Spirit? Go ahead.
Yeah, the Son gives essence to the spirits.
Oh, GG's. Oh, get him out of here, Filioque.
What? Wait, what?
Isaiah, you see
No,
this guy?
I don't know what he said wrong, but I'm gonna drop him anyway because I know that he likes to spurg, and it makes me fall asleep.
Isaiah.
So apotheosis, my patron saint is Saint Justin Martyr.
Tough.
Mainly because of the apologetics thing that my priest believed that I was called for, which made me very happy. And then the other thing is because of the way that I came to Christianity was pretty much the same way that St. Justin Martyr came to Christianity. It basically came to a random guy coming up to him and talking about Jesus, which for me, it was actually a YouTube video, hilariously enough. It's really dumb, the way that it initially got me into Christianity. I just heard, I heard the Bible for the first time because I never read it. I heard it for the first time, and it was the Sermon on the Mount. And it made me like bawl my eyes out for the first time in like 10 years. I'd not done that. And I was, and you know what's funny? I didn't even know that it was Jesus because that's how lacking I was in like avoiding, like that's how much I was avoiding religion my whole life. And like I was in my 20s already, like early 20s. And so like, dude, I'm telling you, like I was really, really ignorant to Christianity. And I heard like the Sermon on the Mount in a YouTube video, and I bawled my eyes out in my car right before work, and it was crazy. And you know, the first thing that I said to myself was, I was like, I gotta know. I was like, dude, I was like, this is amazing. I've got to see where this is at. And then, you know, freaking, I messaged my wife about it, and then my wife had me call her mom and her dad because they're Christians. They're part of the charismatic movement, stuff like that. That's what got me into the charismatic movement, blah, blah, blah. Did that for a little while. Thought I was casting demons out of people by holding my hands up and yelling, Jesus, get out of these people, blah, blah, blah. I was going to deliverance conferences. I was doing all that stuff, bro. I was in the trenches on that level of
Bryce was in that
you had good intentions, but you're just doing it wrong.
Yeah, I was doing it a little wrong because like I was doing it off of emotions, right? Because like my verification of faith back then was not intellectual. It was entirely, if I don't feel nothing, nothing's happening. It's not true. If I ain't feeling nothing, it's not true. Like that's how I was.
Bro, I have so many family members like that. So bad.
Deep in the depth of O Block, I don't know if I can actually joke and say, yeah, dude, because I think I might get in trouble by, I don't know, somebody is going to clip that and it's going to spread around the internet or something. And then I'm going to get told that I'm LARPing as a gang member or something. I don't want to do it.
Tell Bryce to up me. I need to talk to him.
I see. Rise my only begotten son world.
I don't know, bro. Get slimed? Yeah, I know. Yeah, let me get slimed. That's the word I
Ooh,
use.
Samurai Hawk. Look at that goober.
But yeah, no, like it was a pretty similar situation because St. Justin Martyr heard the gospel for the first time and he instantly was just like, I gotta know who said that. And then he started looking into Christianity. So hilariously enough, actually, I learned about that when my priest told me because I didn't know that at first. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. You know?
Isn't that like the story of Augustine where like he's sitting in the garden and then like he's reading like the scripture and then like he hears like the voice of God?
The book of Romans.
Yeah, I don't know what book he was reading, but he was like sitting in the garden.
I don't remember. I know that Augustine, prior to being a Christian, was a Manichaean, and apparently he was a very terrifying opponent.
Okay, so according to this dude in chat, Trifo baked Justin Martyr on Isaiah 7. Not gonna lie,
bruh.
What?
It's a Muslim, so
of course the Muslims saying that. That's crazy. Bro, he freaking, like, literally after the second apology was even made regarding Trifo, like, Trifo shut his mouth, bro. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Trifo was...
Because the argumentation of Trifo responding to the first apology of Trifo, like, that was his response to him, and then the second apology was the response to the response, and then Trifo never responded back.
So Isaiah was Justin Martyr a what's it called? Proto-Scotus?
Yo, Basil, dude, the
definitely not. I think
the oral loss on that was crazy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's not
loss. I would say the St. Justin Martyr is definitely like 100 times like infinitely.
Did you ever like Eric could have said? Did you ever like spaz out, eyes rolling on the floor, shaking while speaking in tongues or nah? No. I cried though, thinking I was speaking tongues at one point. We were at the deliverance conference. I was with my wife, and we were in our car because of the fact that we literally could not get inside of the church because there was that many people there, and it was like 100 degrees outside. So we sat in our car in the air conditioning, thinking that we were speaking in tongues. Like dead serious.
Yeah.
Like we were, dude. Like it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wrong.
Yeah, it was insane, bro.
The spirit is full. It's just like when you go to those conferences, they do make a lot of like.
They do psychological manipulation during them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
they mentally
manipulation.
they try to psychologically prepare you to do the said acts, and they tell you what you're gonna feel, blah blah blah. So then when you do feel it, it causes you to then feel it, of course, because it's how mass hysteria happens. Right? That is the psychology behind mass hysteria.
Okay.
And I was definitely subject to that because I was so concerned about actually feeling the presence of God or
That you
emotionally being able to agree. Right, emotionally feeling said thing. Otherwise, I was not justified in my faith. Like that was the foundation I had when I was like that, and it was so toxic to me.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Bryce, what's your position on like Cyril's Christology? Like, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I don't think that he disagrees with Chalcedon, if that's what you're saying. I mean, I personally believe that the way that he talks to people like John of Antioch kind of shows that.
Letter of reunion.
Letter of reunion, and also John of Antioch's specific response that led to the letter of reunion, right? So John of Antioch specifically wrote a treatise to Cyril, and then there was a letter of reunion that was then written that
World
brought
wants to
everybody
talk to
back
Tanner.
that brought everybody back together. Which then at that point I didn't see any refutations towards what John of Antioch said, and John of Antioch, in my opinion, definitely did not hold to a position that was not mine, in the way that he described the natures. So that's why I like he seems to say, yes, it's okay to say two natures in a certain case, and then like he would explain it. He's like, but these people are not saying the same thing as Nestorius, because I'm sure that like you can see historically speaking, right, the Antiochians were using hypostasis in a different manner than the Alexandrians were.
In what sense? I'm actually interested in that.
Like the Antiochians were using the terminology for hypostasis specifically to mean nature, or sorry, to mean person, right? To mean persona in the same that in the sense that like the Cappadocians sometimes used it to distinguish from nature as described as ousia, right? Which is fine, you know, like, and that we agree that like there's obviously a distinction between hypostasis and ousia, but we don't believe that you can create a third category, which then hypostasis can't be prosopon. And we believe that like hypostasis and prosopon pretty much in every sense is synonymous. And so the Antiochians, like I always use the Nicene anathemas as an example of this, right?
That they're synonymous?
That hypostasis was used in different manners, right? In the Nicene anathemas, when it says that you cannot say that the Father is another hypostasis than the Son, right? That obviously that when they were making a statement like that was referring to the nature in that time, because the majority of the people that were at Nicaea making the theological points, like for example Saint Athanasius, were using hypostasis to mean nature, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that there were different viewpoints on this because of the fact that it was explicated at Nicaea in that manner.
Yeah. If I'm correct, they just use hypostasis to refer to substance. Or they equivocate in some sense when it came to like Nicaea, but then they started moving towards like a real differentiation during the Ephesian times.
Yeah, like would you say that the Trinity is one hypostasis?
Not by like Ephesian standards, but by Nicene standards. Like,
sure. So obviously, so there was some form of development.
Yeah, there's a continuation in terminology.
And I believe obviously that even at the time of Nicaea that there were obviously some church fathers, right, that came from the perspective of hypostasis not exactly meaning that, which is why, right, Sabellianism became a big problem, especially after Nicaea. Sabellianism became a lot worse of a problem after Nicaea because of the fact that there were people in the church that believed that hypostasis meant person. And so that's why when somebody had made the claim, yes, the Father and the Son are one hypostasis, according to Nicaea, there were a lot of people that were like, holy crap, Sabellius vindicated.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's my point. That's my point on that. So like even though that Cyril tends to use generally as hypostasis to mean nature, that there's also certain situations, of course, where fathers don't use it in that manner. And so obviously when Cyril, for example, says you cannot say that there are two hypostases, right? He's referring to it in the sense of like the subject, right? There can't be two subjects in Christ, which at that point, obviously, yes, we would agree with that. And so, like, I believe that, like, the entire dialogue that exists between John of Antioch and Cyril is kind of like the vindication of the fact that he had no issue with people using different language, because John of Antioch very clearly used hypostasis to mean person, where he would say that there's one singular person, but then he would say that there's two natures after the union, blah, blah, blah. And then he actually verbatimly said himself in the letter of reunion that John of Antioch, even though that he affirms two natures, he does not fall into the error of Nestorius.
Where does he say that? I'm actually interested.
Let me see if I can grab that real quick.
Because just from like my off memory, I just remember John of Antioch saying of two natures. And if I'm correct, I might maybe misremembering this, but there's a prior memorandum to Cyril where it was an attempt at reunion, and it was, I think, the formula in two natures, but I might be confusing it with a different subject.
Yeah, because
I know
like,
there's a previous letter of John of Antioch.
So let's also
that didn't get accepted.
Let this super chat go through, and then I'll also explain why we're okay with that too. The way that Cyril explicates it.
74 super chatted $5. My favorite Bryce quote from the early years. Robbar Shandalakai. Shotarobo Kandai. Robbar Shikiandor Omo Zaitai. Halele Shandara Baka Toria.
Hilarious, bro. I appreciate that, Angry Medic. Okay, dude. But anyway, yeah, let me pull that up real quick. So regarding Cyril, by the way, obviously that if he's referring to hypostasis to mean subject, when he says you cannot say that Christ is in two natures, right? Like obviously, like as a Miaphysite, you would affirm that there's a non-self-subsistent hypostasis that's in Christ, right? That's humanity.
Yeah.
Right. So like obviously you guys wouldn't say that after the union, then you can say that he's of two hypostases, but that he's not in two hypostases. Right. So like in the Antiochians' view, saying into hypostases or something like that wouldn't make any sense, and I don't believe that John of Antioch was using it in that manner. But let me pull up the thing here with that. It's in one of his letters, I reckon. Okay. Effectively. Okay. So in letter 39, letter to John of Antioch, specifically in chapter 6. Here, let me just pull this up. I'm just gonna put it on my screen. Give me a second.
Is it the? Yeah, I'll just see it.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta move this real quick here. Okay, I know it's probably not seeable, but I'm just having it up here just so I can show. Although he was born according to the flesh, as I have said just now, from the Holy Virgin, and seeing that he is from above, and that God the Word came down from heaven and said that he emptied himself, taking the form of a servant, and has been called the Son of Man after remaining what he was. This is God, immutable and inalterable according to nature, and considering one of his own flesh, he is said to come down from heaven. But he is named a man from heaven also because the one who is perfect in divinity is also the same one who is perfect in humanity and is also known in one person, right? The word here is used specifically as prosopon. For the Lord Jesus Christ is one, even if the difference of the natures from which we state the ineffable union has made is not ignored. Right? And then, let me see here, there's another section specifically. Oh, and then I have a contra filioque quote in here, but don't worry about that.
Oh, is it the one where he says that it proceeds from the Father, specifically?
Yeah, where it says, "For they were not speaking, but the very Spirit of God, the Father, which proceeds from him, and is not someone else other than the Son, by reason of his substance."
Yo, I quote mine that exact same part.
Yeah, W eternal manifestation, but that's not really part of this conversation.
Yeah.
But let me see here. It's not in the nature. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and then this way also the all-wise Peter speaks, since Christ has suffered in the flesh and not in the nature of his ineffable divinity, while making a distinction between the natures, right? In that case, when he's talking to specifically John of Antioch in this situation, he's saying, look, there's no issue with saying in this case that you can say that there's a human nature and a divine nature and blah blah blah, and if you're just naming it in the name that he's referring to it as, that it's not specifically a problem on its own. Let me see if John is in letters 51 through...
Yeah, I need to read the letters past 50.
But like, I don't see an issue with John of Antioch's statement, because then Cyril obviously clarifies in letter 44 to Eulogius about the bishops of the East just separating the sayings to what it's proper, but not actually separating the natures, as does Nestorius.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why, like, in I forgot what chapter, I think it's in the later chapters of letter 44, but he makes the comparison about the bishops of the East and then Nestorius.
Yeah, wait, like, Tanner, that's not what he that's not what he says in 44 about the Antiochian bishops. He says they divide the sayings off of the differences that they apply to each nature. Yeah. Which is like verbatim what Damascene teaches.
No, he says, and they separate them in this manner, some proper to divinity, others to humanity, and others to the position in common, being both proper to divinity and humanity.
Yes, but when he's talking about when they're saying two, right? When the bishops in the East say two, is what's it called? He says that they enumerate two off of the differences, which the differences of the two natures. I didn't show you the quote.
Yeah, do you think you pull that up? I'm actually interested.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm in the middle of a siege game.
Okay. Because if I'm correct, John, when Cyril's writing to Cassius in letter 40, he talks about John of Antioch. He separated the sayings and into separating the natures, and then Cyril disagrees with that. But then in letter 44, he says that them just separating the sayings into what it's proper is orthodox.
So before he pulls that up here, like one of the things that like I kind of reference here is letter 55, right, to Eusebius regarding the creed. He references specifically the Nicene Creed, where he obviously says himself, right? He said there was a time, if anyone says there was a time when he was not, and he was not before he was begotten, and that he was made from non-existence, maintaining that he is of another hypostasis or another substance, or that God, the Son of God, is mutable or subject to change. Notice how specifically in this section right here, right, he says maintaining that he is of another hypostasis or another substance.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so he's making a distinction because these two words are different here in Greek. So he's trying to basically apply a form of kind of like an ecumenical dialogue, where he's saying that, look, there's people that call it hypostasis, and then there's people that call it substance in the sense of like ousia and things like that. And so like it's very obvious that at least based off of just the way that I've read him over time, that he's making an ecumenical dialogue saying like, look, dude, like there's people that will say that hypostasis means substance, and if that's the case, obviously we like that's not the problem that we have here, right? But if he's talking about hypostasis to actually mean like the subject itself, that's an entirely different problem.
Okay, so I have the quote right here. It's Saint Cyril, and sorry, it wasn't 44, it was letter 40 to Achaicus. He says, "Behold, those who fashion the confession of the true faith clearly name two natures, but maintain the expression of those inspired by God are divided according to the difference of the two natures."
Hold on, let me pull it up. Can you just repeat like the first like few words just so I can like pull it up with like control?
Behold, those who fashion the confession of the true faith.
Alright, hold on.
What?
Not loading.
I'm talking about Hayden. What?
I guess I'm just gonna have to find it. Letter 40.
44, paragraph 14.
I appreciate that.
All right. While you're also pulling that up here, just kind of like another little further context as well, like in letter 54 to Eusebius, it's his first thing, not regarding the creed, where he says, "But the Orthodox doctrine concerning Christ does not have it so. We know that there is one Son and one Christ and one Lord who is God and man, and we state that the divinity is his, and likewise also the humanity is his. For he sometimes speaks divinely as God and sometimes speaks humanly as man. Therefore, since they confess these doctrines, that it was anything but excessive of him to fight against those who did not want the schism to prevail and incline the churches in the East into heresy. Would that all the other bishops be so disposed?" Would you say, based off of like that, or just honestly in general in your view, that energy or actions, right, are proper to nature?
Yeah, I'd say that they're proper to nature and the grounding, but just by like attributing them, it doesn't collapse into two.
Yeah, no, so that's fine. That's fine. So that's kind of like the entire point that's being made here, specifically in letter 54 to Eusebius, right? Where he makes the statement here that we know that there's one Son and one Christ who is God and man, And then we state that there is the divinity is his and the humanity is his. For he sometimes speaks divinely as God, right? You'd say that's him committing an action in a divine manner.
Yeah.
Right? And then he sometimes speaks humanly as man, right? As in he's committing energy, right? And energy via humanity, right? This is actually like one of the main argumentations that were used at the Sixth Ecumenical Council, in our view, against the monergist view of there being one singular energy in Christ as well, is the fact that there seems to be a distinction in the foundation in which it's used for energies, right? That there's a human energy and that there's a divine energy that applies to the fact that he possesses a human nature and a divine nature. And these two things can be denoted in one subject, which obviously Cyril says here, as there's one Son, Christ and Lord, who is God and man, right? According to these natures.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a mental distinction to what it's proper to. That's exactly why Cyril also.
Yeah, we don't disagree with that though. Have you read Constantinople II at all?
No, I haven't. So like
because Constantinople II, right? The council that came after Chalcedon literally agrees with that exact same situation, because of the fact that there were people also that were holding to monothelitism at the time of the Fifth Council, which was, obviously like monothelitism, like it proper. Right, monothelitism proper, which would be like, I'm trying to think of like who actually started like actual monothelitism, like kind of like a Eutychian monothelitism, of course.
Yeah.
But the, like the whole problem, right, of saying that you can basically distinguish the energies by the natures in the first place in the singular subject is kind of like the main point that is applied to the Fifth and the Sixth Council about how there's be a mental distinction in terms of the subject which is applied to said thing, where you could say that like and at Chalcedon actually the same exact type of language is used by Saint Leo, where he actually says that the humanity acts and the divine and the divinity acts, right? Obviously that would not be considered a distinction in reality when we're talking about the natures acting, right, in our view. And that's kind of like the entire point that's applied with St. Justinian the Great in his work on the person of Christ, which is the work that is dogmatized at the Fifth Council, is that like he was further clarifying about like the types of language that was being utilized specifically at Chalcedon to try to obviously show that there is a distinction in the natures. But Pope St. Leo, of course, was using more of a language in terms of applying the nature, right, as the subject to delineate, not necessarily in the sense of saying that there's two subjects that actually are in Christ in terms of like there being two Christs, right? And so that's kind of like the entire thing that I'm getting at here with that.
Yeah. When Pope Leo talks about the humanity acts according to I forgot the quote, but you know what I'm referring to, like where he attributes each to each, but in like a separate manner, like how does that kind of reconcile with Cyril's only like conceptual distinction, where he doesn't even like fully attribute, he just like says, yeah, you can know the difference of what's proper, and you can attribute only in like mental clarification of like what is proper to, but then you still attribute it to like the.
Yeah, we would say that like when Pope St. Leo was referring to the natures acting, that is the reference to en theoria. Right, because he doesn't make the statement that then therefore these two actions that are occurring, right, are two separate realities that are doing their own thing independently. He doesn't make the statement that there's things occurring independently in two realities. He says that there's one singular reality and that we can denote that there's two actions occurring in these natures, and that's why he's referring to the natures and acting, at least in that context.
I got you. Yo, someone wanted to pull something up for Cyril.
Yeah, the thing
Basil?
that Basil said, yeah.
Yeah.
What chapter was it for letter 40?
This chapter 14.
I gotcha. Let me look.
Yo, Bryce, World for the past 30 minutes has been begging to come up.
All right, I'll give him a chance to come up here and talk real quick. But if he just metaphysics spurgs all over the place, then it's gonna be a different story because we're having a good convo.
Yo, it's on there.
Yo, what up, bro?
Yeah, when you were talking with Bryce Shea, you said that Cyril doesn't teach two subjects as two natures, right? Insofar as like a nature can be a reference or an object.
Hold on, can you repeat that?
Like, okay, what I mean by subject, all I mean is just that anything which can be discussed about, it's like insofar as it is an object, which can be insofar as it is in an object. Like, do you think that Cyril doesn't teach that?
What that
that there's two subjects in Christ? Because in his comments here on John chapter 1 verse 14, Cyril verbatim uses the two subjects language insofar as there exist two subjects of attribution, or that there are two reference to, let's say, the one person of Christ. And basically, I wanted to ask you, since you're a Severian, how would you reconcile that quote with your paradigm? Because when he specifically talks about the two reference, he says it picks out not only the natural qualities, but also the natures which are like contracted, where subsist within this individual.
I'd have to see the quote and like actually.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Do you have Discord or anything?
Yeah, I do. You can just send it.
You want to send it to me and I'll read it out loud.
All right. Yeah. Hold on.
Can you, while you're at that, can you send me an invite to your server also?
Yeah.
Yo, Bryce, bro, is this Dr. Doom Battle Planet?
No. Dr. Doom Battle Planet was when I had Aegon up here against Sig. And Wayne. That was a different Battle Planet.
Oh my gosh, dude. I miss Wayne so much. I used to hop on.
That's true. I sent the quote to you, and you can read out for Tanner.
Yep, let me...
Yo, you could just call him Bryce instead of Bryce J, right?
Yo, I already baked Wayne. Mr. Isaiah. I'm the new king of debating.
All right,
No, you were not, bro. What are you talking about?
All right, so it says here, let me go ahead and just copy this, put this in a notepad so I can show it on screen.
Hey, bet.
Okay. So it says, the evangelist develops what he says further in a useful way and brings up the meaning. So by the way, this is St. Cyril of Alexandria on the Gospel of John, chapter 1, section 14. This is in Patrologia Graeco 73, column 161, A through C.
Sweet.
It says the evangelist develops what he says further in a useful way and brings the meaning of the scene to a more obvious clarity and understanding. For after he has said that the word of God became flesh, so that one in great folly might suppose that he has left his own nature behind, or what he has said in this way, been made over into flesh and become passible, which would be impossible, for the divine is far removed from all change and from transformation into something else in the structure of its existence. The theologian does a very beautiful thing, adding immediately, and dwelt among us, John 1:14. So that in recognizing two subjects of attribution here, the one who dwells in that which his dwelling takes place, you might recognize that he is not turned into flesh, but rather has become into flesh by taking it on to use as his own body the temple from the Holy Virgin. For in him all the fullness of the Godhead has dwelt in a bodily way, Colossians 2:9, as Paul says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
I think it's obviously the thing that says so that in recognizing two subjects of attribution. I think that's what he's referring to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm not just saying the recognizing parts, but he actually gives a reason as to why, for example, even if you have let's say one subject, in reality, you could still possess two subjects of attribution, insofar as there are, let's say, two reference, which can pick up the person, sure, but like when he specifically says earlier in the paragraph, given that he says, which would be impossible given that it cannot change into something else within the structure of its existence. He specifically says that like just because you pick out one nature doesn't mean this communication with the omatum applies to the other nature. It'd be proper to the person.
Yo, world is like the Orthodox Ahmed Qureshi, bro.
Facts.
I'll have to look into this more. I see what you're if
you want a really good book to read by Cyril, I I think his most explicit work, which he teaches diaphysitism, is number one. There's this work which he used basically. If you look in, I think the letter 54 to Eusebius the priest, he mentions this heresy called the Synowiziasts. Basically, what the Synowiziasts posits is that there exists a tertium quid, or a third thing, basically one new essence of both the humanity and the divinity. And so, what he does in this work is basically it's called against the Synowiziasts. He goes into depth about like how even if, for example, we say that I don't know the divinity or like the humanity was contracted into the mode of like the subsistence of the person, it still wouldn't follow that these two things become a tertium quid or a third thing, which I'm pretty sure if I don't know if you look at it, go back all the way to David Erhan's debate with Hagen. He probably has some good quotes. I remember I screenshotted and commentated on one. And he basically does the same points in this commentary on John, because when he talks about John chapter 1 verse 14, and also I think it's commentary on the Gospels in general, because when he refers to like, I don't know, let's say the transfiguration on the mount, or like, I don't know, say the communion or the Last Supper, he specifically predicates these to different not even aspects. He predicates this to different operations in regards to each nature. Because what he says in regards to this is he says that nature immediately follows from operation, which I'll send it to Bryce in a bit, and he'll read out all the quotes that I sent him. I'll probably put them on the screen.
Yo, world is such a burger, bro.
Yo, I would fry you any day, bro.
Yo, you're my son, but okay.
Yo, you're my son.
Yo, Bryce still didn't unban me, by the way.
Yeah, but Bryce J, I'm gonna send you some more quotes, and you can just show them to Tanner, or just put them on the screen.
You don't have to call him Bryce J, bro.
Oh, Bryce.
Yo, world. Yo, Bryce J, I'm still banned, by the way.
Bro, it literally doesn't even say you're banned.
I have to make sure to say Bryce J. That make Isaiah mad.
Do you have an alt?
Making me mad.
Do you have an alt?
It's just something only.
Oh yeah, I had it all.
Yeah,
it was like Sorrowful Damascus, but then my account got like obliterated.
What is the account name? Because you'd be banned still if you have an alt that's banned on the same IP.
Tragic.
So what's the account name?
I assume. Yo, world. Do you have Discord?
Yeah, I have Discord. I'll send my username in the chat right now.
Yeah, I'll just add you, and then you can just send me all the quotes.
Yo, what is wrong with this dude Basil, bro?
Basil.
That'd be amazing.
World, who's your patron saying, by the way, bro? I've never known that.
It's Hillary. Saint Hillary.
Yo, what's the name of
It
your alt?
really is?
My alt is I Blame Heresy.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, Isaiah, I didn't even know you were still here.
Yeah, Tanner, here's my username.
Yo, dude, I've low-key been quiet ever since World started talking, bro.
Real.
Brother, what
Can't
is
even
this?
blame you.
This is amalgamation.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is, bro. It's some nonsense.
I'll only step in.
The reason why it's nonsense is so your burger break can comprehend
You
it,
said
bro.
the account got deleted?
Yeah, because like I made a joke about my age.
Alright, 1 second.
I think I had you added, Requiem.
Yo, this burger getting fried and getting what's
hold on.
coming to him, bro.
Nothing's coming up, so I'll just put mine.
And like someone unironically like reported me.
I gotta revoke the
Yeah, you
bans
got
on
what
all
was
of the
coming to you,
deleted
Damascus.
users. Give me a second.
Yo, world, do you think you just add me? I put my username.
Yeah, sure. 1 second.
Yeah, appreciate it. But
Yeah,
the reason why I ask about all this stuff is because I actually have like a Dao-Physite friend who was like Miaphysite for a bit, and he like read through a lot of Cyril's works.
Sure.
And his position is that Cyril is pretty consistently Miaphysite, but he allows for moderate Dao-Physitism, and it doesn't contradict that Ephesus or Chalcedon.
Yeah, I
What?
mean that's kind of. I mean, like when it comes to like the position that we hold to, like minor diophysitism is technically the proper terminology for like what we hold, because technically strict diophysitism or major diophysitism is a word that was applied to Nestorius. Try and join now, Hillary.
Yeah, Bryce J, I'll send you the quotes and I can put them on the screen as
Sure.
I gotta go in a second
Yeah,
because
yeah,
my
that's-
mom's like,
No, you're good,
spam
Tanner.
texts every time we go to bed. But yeah, World, do you think you just send me all the quotes and that'd be amazing, bro?
Yeah, just send him the quotes on Discord.
Yeah, yeah, sure. It's no problem. Yeah, but what I recommend is for you to read. Okay, there's an entire work I'm pretty sure by this thing called like Ancient Christian Authors or something, where it's a compilement of his works against Theodore of Tarsus, Theodoretes, and what's it called against the Synorusiasts. And what Cyril does to actually make he actually made a lot of scholars believe that this against the Synorusiast work wasn't just like something made up at Chalcedon, but rather it was indeed written by him, is basically in some of his fragments against Theodore of Tarsus, he mentions frequently that he writes against against the people who teach co-essentiation, which the proper Greek term for that is Synorusiasm. And then just like read Saint Cyril's commentary on the Gospels, and like that's all. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, if you could just send me all of like your citations and like the quotes you got, that'd be amazing.
That'll work.
Yo, I'm gonna need another invite.
I just sent you another one.
I'm a dip, but I appreciate the discussions, guys.
Yeah, sure thing, bro.
No problem.
Yeah, God bless.
Yo, it still says I'm banned.
Bruh, I literally unbanned all of the users that are nuked. I don't know. Unless you have an alt that's currently in the server right now, or that's banned, that's not removed. You might have to wait a day, because like sometimes like there's people that I unbanned that weren't able to see the invite for like 24 hours after they were unbanned. Yo, guys,
Yeah, that might be what it is.
Do I make
I
a
don't
do
know,
I
it's
make
okay.
a do I make a terrible decision and promote the live just to get like the worst people of all time?
Yes, yes, yes.
It's only 9. It's only 9, so we still got like 2 hours. So I'll do it.
I mean, Hayden's already here.
Yeah, we already got all the burgers here, especially like basil.
All right, so Damascus, we're gonna bring this back down to 2 people on the panel. All right, thank you.
All right, can we talk about Bonaventure now?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I what's it called? Have a logical priority to Bryce, so I said yes. So yeah, go ahead.
He thinks that. Have you ever been with the caramel tarts at Skeggy Butlin's LA?
What?
No. Have you ever
That
been
is
with the vanilla
hilarious.
tarts at Skeggy Butlin's? Yeah.
Why are we talking about different flavors there? With tart.
I don't even know what that means, bro.
I don't either. Sounds like some Willy Wonka stuff right there. Bro, these modern Phil bros be denying ontological pluralism.
Yeah, expeditiously. I mean, like, you know the problem with ontological pluralism? I mean, like, talk to multiple people about it, bro. Like,
There's a dude in your server
I know.
debated on God's existence.
I know
and
it is. I know who it is. I
brought
debated him
up-
on the exact same subject. Dude, I was in the middle. I literally, the whole time I debated him, I was playing a match of Deadlock the entire time.
Oh shoot! No! What happened? Yeah. I remember. I was there. Yeah, because he was trying to debate me on that argument that I wrote a paper on, and he just started denying.
Family of God 21. It is an open panel. If you join on TikTok, you're welcome to come on.
You just started denying everything.
What's up? I don't know how to say your name, man. I'm just gonna say mate.
It's just Matthew. Yeah.
Okay, what's up?
So, I'm an Orthodox Christian, and I was curious on how to respond to such things when Catholics say, like, we were one church, right?
Sure.
and they claim to be the one true church, and the first church was Catholic Church. But
Because they use the word Catholic or something in the creed or what?
Yeah.
Is that a real argument? Does that people actually do that?
I don't know, man. I'm green in this stuff. Can you explain?
So Catholic, in a general sense, it just means universal. That's all the word means. It's not the Roman Catholics did not invent the word Catholic. So I mean the one holy Catholic and apostolic church, right? There's many like that. I mean, with that type of argumentation, technically a bunch of church fathers would have to then therefore not be. Thank you for the hat. A bunch of church fathers would have to then therefore not be Catholic because of the fact that they call the church the Orthodox Church, because the Orthodox Church means the true path or the right way. Right, the word Orthodox in of itself is something that was used by a bunch of fathers, and the word Catholic. I mean, there's people that called it the Orthodox Catholic Church. Now what do we do?
They're both. Okay, I understand. Yes, sir. So, was it one church at the time?
Yeah, up until 1054 A.D. There was a singular communion, right, and then there was a breakaway or an anathematization of the Pope, and there was also an anathematization from the Pope to the Patriarch of Constantinople. The other three patriarchs agreed with Constantinople at that time. And then there was other patriarchs that were assigned in Rome to be able to take on like the Latin patriarchates of those other things. So they had their own Patriarch of Jerusalem, they had their own blah blah blah. And then one second, I gotta finish one thing. And then basically, I hold the position that the official schism, in terms of actual council-based problems, is something that occurred in 1285 when the Orthodox Church did. The Council of Blackroday officially anathematizing the Filioque way.
Yeah. Okay. So I see that the Catholic Church is kind of different from our church, and if it was one at some point, how was it one? Like, do we believe in the same stuff, or
yes?
Like, if it was different, then how were we one? At any point.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I say it would be disagreement on what the first millennia believed in. That's what the schism is in the first place, because the entire historical argumentation that exists in the 11th century regarding the schism is something that is proper to basically pointing back into history and then saying, no, the fathers never taught this thing. The church that we are universally a part of never taught this specific thing that you're saying that they taught. And then they schismed over the difference in opinion on how the church actually operated and the things that they believed in theologically. It was an argument from history in terms of like how we actually think that the fathers believed in blah blah blah.
Yeah, a Catholic would say that the pre-schismic church would affirm Catholic beliefs like the Filioque, and then an Orthodox Christian would say obviously not, or not.
What historical evidence would the Orthodox man point to?
So
Saba.
It's really what it really comes down to is specific quotations from the early church fathers. Again, there's different interpretations of these fathers. So, like for example, if we read St. Augustine, a lot of Catholics tend to go towards St. Augustine to argue that he affirmed the Filioque. And the language that is used for us to affirm the Filioque, like "and the Son," when that is said in quotations, some Orthodox Christians would likely say that this specific quotation refers to a different sense, or it's in the economic sense, not in a hypostatic or a causative sense. So it's really just interpretations of the fathers.
Like, do you understand like the difference in like our views of like how we see "and the Son" versus the way the Catholics do, Matthew?
I suppose I believe that the Father is the supreme beginning of the other two persons.
Sure.
And Catholics, on the other hand, believe that there is Jesus, the Son, and the Father, from which proceeds the Spirit.
Yes, but the thing I'm referring to specifically is what that procession means. When we say it, like, so there is a sense in which Orthodox Christians also say that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son, but we have a very specific nuance into what that means versus what the Catholics mean. Because the Catholics would say that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son as one singular spiration, or the existence of the Holy Spirit is from the Father and the Son, not just the Father. And so, in our view, we would say that
I do not know what spiration means.
Spiration is the act that causes the Holy Spirit, right? So spirating, right, is the act that that is the procession, right? The procession of the Holy Spirit, the proceeding, right? Spiration is just a terminology for that.
What holds me from saying the Son and the Spirit spirates from the Father?
The reason why that we don't believe that is because in our view, there's multiple different argumentations against that. In our view, there's a couple arguments that believe that that causes the Father to either be composite or the Holy Spirit to either be composite, or that the Father is inadequate for the act of preceding the Holy Spirit, or that it causes two principles in the Trinity. Those are the main argumentations that exist in our fathers for that.
What would hold me from saying the Son and the Holy Spirit come forth by the Father?
They both do.
They both do. I mean, even the Catholics would say that's cool. Like they would say that too. Like they don't have an issue with that. They just believe that there is a sense in which when we talk about when they talk about the Holy Spirit proceeding from the Father and the Son, that's referring specifically to the hypostatic existence, but they also believe in this thing called a primordial cause, which is like the sole fount as described at Constantinople I. And that's just me just steel manning them. Obviously, I disagree on that terminology as an Orthodox Christian in the way that they explicate that. But in a general sense, of course, right, we would say that the Holy Spirit only proceeds from the Father in terms of his hypostatic existence, or in the way in which he exists, right, by procession. But the Catholics would say that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son as one spiration, right? We would disagree with that, of course, but we would say that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son economically, as in that he proceeds from the Father and the Son into creation, not for his own existence, but for the economy. And this is something that is natural to the Trinity for that to occur, which is what eternal manifestation is, which is our view at the Council of Blackernay in 1285.
So, what is hypostatic? You said hypostatic, right?
Yes.
Hypostatic. It can refer to like personhood, but when we refer to action, the difference between like economic and hypostatic action or acts, it would be necessary. Like a filioquist would say, the begetting of the Son, that would be something hypostatic. So this action is from eternity and it's necessary, but like something economic or an economic procession, when we say like the Holy Spirit is sent by the Son, and because that happens in creation, you would say that it's in time. So it's not necessarily something that has always happened or something causative.
Yeah.
So that's really the difference.
Okay.
Because the processions of God are eternal.
Thank you guys.
So.
Thank you guys. I'll do a bit more research. I'm new here. I'll learn more about my faith. And glad to have you guys.
Hey, you should join my Discord server, man, if you're like brand new and stuff like that, and you're like trying to learn about like specifically like Orthodox like polemics and things like that. My server is kind of like a debate sphere server that's ran by Orthodox Christians. I wouldn't take what people say in general chat as gospel. Don't do that. My server is kind of a cesspit for people LARPing and being dumb. But not even that. I'm just talking about just people just like spurting random stuff because they're inquiring and they don't actually know the Orthodox position. Not even that really. But there's I do know that my server is cooked, but I also kind of have it cooked because it's not designed to be some Orthodox fellowship server where like it's where you learn the dogmatic theology of the Orthodox Church. But if you do have questions against other worldviews, you're more than welcome to join my server, and you can ask anybody that's in there about refutations towards those things or argumentations against whatever. Yeah.
And you have to commemorate Saba.
For real, dude. But
Thank you,
yep.
guys. Bye bye. Good luck.
Yep.
God bless.
What a profile picture.
That's crazy.
And it's beautiful, isn't it?
That's crazy, dude. I don't know, dude. Do I have a big?
I
Do I have a
came
bigger
to
head
ask-
than Monkey Boy? I think I
Maybe.
do. I think I might. Yeah.
It's not one of the biggest foreheads I've ever seen. So.
It's because I have. It's because I have a lot of knowledge up there, bro. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, I was just curious about like universalism and if and why it's condemned.
It's condemned at Constantinople II, which is the Fifth Ecumenical Synod, and it's condemned because of the fact that the Scripture very clearly states that this is not the case. Give me 1 second.
At Zangrimodic 5,974 super chatted $10. Catholic claims are unique because they often require proving not only that Rome was right, but that everyone who disagreed with Rome secretly agreed with Rome.
I'm sorry.
That is the argumentation.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, yeah. So it's condemned at the Fifth Ecumenical Synod because it's basically shown in the tradition of the Church Fathers that came prior to that that obviously none of them are universalists, and that the New Testament is pretty clear that there are some who go to that go to eternal torment and those that don't. And so if the universalism is true, then technically speaking, nobody actually suffers an unending torment that the fire cannot quench. Because it says that the fire that the wicked go to is an unquenching fire. And as we know how fire works, that eventually fire becomes quenched with what it is destroyed, and then it goes out. Right? And so if the fire that's in hell is unquenchable, then the people that are inside of this fire are obviously never satisfied by the ending of this fire in any way.
All right, that was it. Thank you.
Sure thing, bro.
And also, like, another point is in the book of Corinthians when it talks about the fire that we go through at death, like the process before we achieve the energies or theosis, that could be like irrelevant if hell is just some process before we enter heaven.
Yep. Moise says, what's wrong with the problem of absolute divine simplicity and the virtual distinction? Because I heard from the Thomists that anything that is mind independent is multiplicity of God, but I thought that EED fixed that problem because of formal distinctions. Well, I mean, obviously we do believe that the essence energies distinction solves that problem when it comes to the argument against their view, but at the same time, obviously, they don't agree that the formal actual distinction actually solves the problem, because they actually they kind of have two different camps that they can take, right? There's two different views that a Thomist can take from that. They can either say that the formal actual distinction eventually just collapses into a virtual distinction, like some of the newer, I guess, analytical neo-Thomists do. I can't remember his name, Edward Fazer. He's not. I don't think he's a neo-Thomist. I don't remember, but analytical, yeah. So Edward Fazer, for example, he states that a formal distinction actually just collapses into a virtual distinction in his book, Introduction to Scholastic Metaphysics. But there's also some people in that camp that would state that a formal actual distinction actually just leads to either a composition in God, or that it leads to a real distinction that entails, well, like I said, composition or polytheism. So, like, they don't believe that our answers are obviously sufficient. And I'm not going to lie to you, it doesn't really matter the amount of argumentation that we make towards that. They're never going to concede to our argumentation unless they decide to become Orthodox. Like, that's not exactly how that works. Now, it doesn't matter. Like, they're going to assume or create an argument in some way, shape, or form against any type of resolve that we have to critique from a Thomist, no matter what, unless they assent to the Orthodox Church either way. And in my opinion, it's not always an intellectual problem. Obviously, it is a spiritual problem as well. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day that if you have like 1,000 intellectual arguments for the Orthodox Church, at the end of the day, like if your spiritual faculty is absolutely cooked, it doesn't matter the amount of things that I'm going to tell you intellectually. It's still going to cause you to not be convinced by it, no matter what, because arrogance and stubbornness is not a virtue. So
that's true.
But yeah, dude, freaking, hold I'm a Protestant, but I want to show that I can be Protestant and still love my Orthodox and Catholic brothers. Can I be a mod? No. Sorry, brother. The only people that I apply as mods in my YouTube chat are Orthodox people, or at least a catechumen to that degree. My TikTok side is a little bit more kind of like whatever, because one, I need more people to actually manage my TikTok chat, because that is way more of a cesspit than the YouTube side is.
Yeah, for example, the dude who joined earlier.
Bro, I might be the only Catholic.
Yeah, I think you're the only Catholic guy that I'm actually cool with that moderates my TikTok chat. But that's also because you're also really like, you're not militant like a lot of these other freaking schizoids are. So
I'm not a goober.
you're not a goober, yeah, like I freaking always call people. But sorry, Lactantius. If you want to discuss, by the way, Protestantism, you're more than welcome to come up here on TikTok side. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, like my topic is I'm Orthodox, ask me anything, plus Trinity is true, Jesus is God. So, I mean, if you have any contentions with Orthodoxy, you're welcome to come up here and have a discussion. That includes anybody else who is in the chat on the YouTube side or the TikTok side. I just activated the promotion thing, so people are going to start coming in. Netsata, yes, I do know Easy. I don't even know what religion he is anymore.
Is that the halal guy? Hold on.
Yeah,
is that the same one?
Yeah. Block him.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I need to find it.
Block that guy, please. He is Jewish now? Yikes. Halal is requesting to come up again. Please block him.
It's Lewis, bro.
It's Lewis. I'll let Lewis up, though. He's cool. Time to ban everyone. Yo.
Lewis.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man?
How you guys?
Hanging out, discussing. Had a couple small debates in here earlier. I got Servant of the Merciful. You know him?
Oh yeah, that clown.
Yeah, I got him to admit that due to the fact that Servant of the Merciful hasn't begotten a son yet, that he's lesser of a human than his father who begot him. So it was awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He said he literally admitted that he's a different species than his father due to that.
Oh wow, different nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because he was making that stupid argument of like, oh, but if begetting is something that's proper, is foundational to the nature, and the son doesn't beget, then he's lesser than the father by nature. And I'm like, oh, okay, so let's go ahead and apply that to humanity and see how that works out for you. That's gonna go great, right? Like that's not gonna work well. All right? And usually I don't even use human analogies, but that was like an easy one to basically just apply to humanity and be like, wait a minute, you just absolutely, you're a nominalist saying that. Because like you're just applying a hypostatic action, which has a foundation in the nature. Oh my gosh, no way! I gotta end stream again. Another guy just came up and just flashed, bro. I'll be back.
Christian account, by the way.
Dude.
I didn't even see.
Yeah, Salt and Light, by the way. It's that guy. Block him, please. I don't even know who to bring up anymore. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. Like, what do I do?
Just go up and
I'm blocking.
Wait, if I kick him, do I have to end stream?
I just blocked him.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I should be fine, right? Like, as long as
you're
I block.
fine. Just on the YouTube side.
No, not the YouTube side. I'm saying, do I need to actually restart stream though? Because like I totally activated a freaking promotion.
No, you should be good, man.
I think you should just like disable cameras for visitors or people that come.
Is there a way I can do that?
I'm not sure.
Chat, tell me if there's a way to do that. Yeah, dude, I've had 2 people come up here and like actually flash their freaking genitals.
Yeah, that guy needs to lock in.
This is crazy. There's got to be a way to freaking make it to where people just can't use their cameras, bro.
Why would we be showing our stuff, man?
I don't even know. I can't believe people genuinely be doing that.
That is so weird. Oh my gosh.
I'm not meat slinging. That's what the dude just said.
I mean, you want to come up?
As long as you're not meat slinging. If you turn your camera on, I'm banning you instantly, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to turn the camera on anyway.
Okay, cool, bro. Because like it's happened twice, bro. I don't know what to do anymore.
That's wild.
You're gonna get Bryce banned, bro.
They are trying to get me banned. It's typical, bro. It's all good.
All right, so I have a question. My question is, what's the difference between being Orthodox and being Catholic?
Oh boy.
Multiple different categories. The Orthodox Church denies things like the Filioque, which is the belief that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. The Orthodox Church also rejects papal supremacy and papal infallibility, believing that the Roman Pontiff has the ability to act outside of his own jurisdiction. And then we have some differences on what absolute divine simplicity means, depending on the school of thought that the Roman Catholic is holding to. Our metaphysics is pretty different in some categories.
Does the Orthodoxy believe in the Pope?
No, we believe that all of the patriarchs have an equal amount of power and that they only can work according to their own jurisdiction.
How'd you get into that denomination? Where you reasoned it? Or?
I reasoned it through a lot of research and inquiring and stuff like that, and then also just like attending church and spiritually ascending to it, of course. But a lot of it definitely was an intellectual ascent, because I was like a Pentecostal, like evangelical, hyper charismatic. Yeah. Prior to being Orthodox.
Is there like a baptism to get into Orthodoxy, or is it just?
There's a baptism to be considered an Orthodox Christian. Yes, and that's a process that is over time. After you are capable of making a full confession of faith of Orthodoxy, either through catechism or personal teaching from your priest.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we believe that baptism is fully regenerative.
I hope nobody else flashes more meat. Thank you for answering my questions.
Appreciate it, bro. All right,
good. Take care of me.
I appreciate the
good faith.
The good faith on that one. So there's someone named Silent Tranquility that's coming up here. I'm gonna let you up here, bro. But if you turn your camera on, I'm banning you instantly, because now I'm just absolutely freaking cooked, bro.
Oh boy. Please don't do it, dude.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
What's good?
What's up?
Just can't ask some questions.
All right, go ahead.
Right now I would say I'm like agnostic, but I'm kind of like leaning towards atheism. But like, what would you be your like argument or reason to why I should be like theist? I'm open to it, but.
Like in me personally, like I have a couple different types of arguments that I use. Like I don't know like how good you are with like metaphysics and philosophy. It kind of depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like my favorite argument that I like using right now is the argument from Psychophysical Harmony, which is pretty philosophically heavy. But then I also have things like the argument of motion. I don't know if you've ever heard that one. And the argument for motion is basically the necessity that there must be a form of first mover if things are moving in the world, and this first mover must be unmoved and purely moving, or must be unmoved and it is purely actualizing movement.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Is that almost like pure act?
That's kind of like part of the argumentation, but that's not like the entailment from it. That's just part of like the argumentation generally. But it's basically like where you believe that all things in the world are moving, right? That something cannot move itself from the potency to act. Do you know what potency and act is?
Is that like potentiality?
Yeah, potentiality as in like the ability to do something or the potential to become something, blah, 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 but it hasn't been done yet. Right? All things that move are moved by another. So, like, for example, even if you go from a state of not believing to believing, there is something in the world that caused you to move to that state. Right? And if all things are moving, there must be something that initiates movement in the first place, which would be the first cause, the eternal mover. Right? And this thing that is beginning movement also cannot be moved himself. So he would also have to be an uncaused cause.
All right. So like the worldview I kind of have is like, I don't know if is it eternalism or like a type of infinite regression. there a
I mean,
reason why that can't be true?
the argumentation against like infinite regression is simply that you cannot actually denote basically a beginning point to anything in any case, which would apply epistemic problems or the ability to actually acquire truth from falsity. If, for example, we say that everything is eternal to a degree. Right. So like if there would be no way to actually determine whether or not something is true by virtue of another thing, if there is an eternal movement backwards of things that are moved, right? Because there is a mover that causes movement in any sense, right? And so if that is the case, right, then there has to be some form of mover that began said movement. So if you try to hold to some form of infinite regression, the entire understanding of motion in of itself has to disappear due to this.
Okay, so would you say that time is the fourth dimension?
Yeah, sure, I'm okay with that.
Would you say that the future is infinite?
The future is infinite? I would say that it's perpetual.
Like there is no end to the future? Would you say that?
I mean, I would say there's no end to it, which is why I would use the word perpetual instead of infinite, because infinite also necessitates no beginning.
Okay, so
So I would say that there's a beginning to the future every second that things are not happening. So like right now, right, there is a future that is happening in the next second, right? So there's a beginning to the future at every moment.
Yeah. So like, why couldn't the past reflect that, as in a sense that same way the future has no end? Why couldn't the past have no end?
Because I mean, something important. I do have a quick question, just to clarify. What do you think time is?
Well, from my perspective, it's a measurement.
Yeah,
Of motion, right? Measurement of motion.
Measurement of change. So, we basically highlight things based off of the fact that there are measurements based off of regressions that cannot be infinite, and there must be something that causes this change to be put into act. Because would you agree that when we make a statement about reality, like something changing, do you think that that is some necessary act of change, or do you think that this can be under a different state of affairs?
Can you give me examples so I can
okay,
answer the question better?
Do you think that you going from the state of not believing to believing is a necessary proposition?
I think so. I would say it's determined by something.
Well, you would say that there has to be a necessary explanation for these contingent truths about reality. So there are things that do change in reality, and there cannot be an infinite regression, because that necessitates that everything that happens in reality either collapses into a necessity in and of itself. Because if everything is necessary, or if everything is infinite, then the regression is a necessity in and of itself. Does that make sense?
How are you defining infinite?
Necessity, and like being infinite would be like equivocated here almost. Like
when I use it, I'm using it in the term as like in time as it has no end or beginning.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Well, if it has no end, then there cannot be any other state of it not being, because it cannot be another way. It must happen. Because there's no necessary explanation for this contingent truth about reality, because it's just going to be an infinite multiplicity of things happening.
So you're saying that, like, if you're saying that infinite regression can't be true because, like, where we're at today would have no end? Is that what you're saying?
There's no sufficient explanation for contingent things or things that can fail in reality.
It's another epistemic problem. It just eventually leads to like the same view of like not being able to actually determine the difference between all these things.
Well,
that's the
like
reason why I'm okay with the perpetuality of the future.
It's subjective.
What?
I say, isn't the way we determine things is subjective, right? Like it's depending on
the way that we come to the conclusion of something. I would say that our opinion of that thing absolutely is subjective. Sure.
So like when we make claims about reality, it necessarily wouldn't be true, but how we perceive the truth.
No.
Well, I mean, like, because there's something that's attempting to be apprehended by the subject, right? So, like, your apprehension of said truth, right, that in of itself would be subjective. Like, you'd be apprehending that truth maybe in a different manner than another person, but that doesn't. But that wouldn't mean that then, therefore, truth in of itself is subjective off of that, because there is a singular referent that both people are attempting to apprehend at the end of the day.
Because we would say the epistemology starts with being like objectively. Like stuff just true insofar as when we say things that are true about reality, it's just our intellect's ascension or correspondence to that thing.
Yeah. The referent itself, the thing that we're both attempting to apprehend, is not something in of itself that someone has to create. Right? There's obviously some things that are apprehended by multiple people that are subjective. Like, for example, like the rules of a certain game, maybe that wasn't invented by one person. Right. So like when different people are talking about the rules of whatever sport, right, and they both come from different places. Like we use an example of kind of like baseball, right? Like the rules of baseball have changed massively over time. Right. Like there was a lot of different rules of baseball when baseball was first conceived. But that doesn't mean that then therefore there's some absolute objective truth to baseball. The rules of baseball, because that is something that somebody began to actually propose into existence, as in it did not exist prior to that. It was in a state of potency, and it was brought into act by another person, right? So then, therefore, that wouldn't be objectively the case by all people, the rules of baseball. But if we're talking about like something like the laws of logic, or we're talking about something like mathematical formulas, things like this, I would say don't apply to that category. Rather, they would actually be things that are apprehended objectively, and that some people can just simply get them wrong, right? You can't.
I would agree with that.
What would you say about that with morality, though? Because that's where theism really starts to come into play here. What would you say morality also applies to that?
Oh no! I from what I understand and how I perceive the world, I would say morality is subjective.
Well, yeah, but would you? So you would say that there is no principle that's being applied when somebody says Schmurder is wrong versus another person that says something like Schmurder is not wrong, right? Like if you like, there is, or would you say that either of them is incorrect in an objective sense, or no?
No, I wouldn't say either of them are correct or incorrect.
Okay, so then if it's entirely just opinion based, then would you say that so now we kind of get into like a geopolitical type situation here when it comes to this, right? The method by which that we actually judge laws, right? Would you say that then therefore they have to actually be that they have to be fleshed out simply just by a consensus and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, from how I see it as like it's all dependent on a combination of multiple things. I would say whoever is in power and authority, and also like a majority and preference based.
So you'd say that you have no grounding in whatsoever to basically critique some form of other nation, right? That has the view of, for example, that every boy, in order to turn into a man at 16 years old or whatever, they have to be raped by their father, right? If that was a law that was instated in a certain nation, you'd say that you have no right to actually say that that's incorrect.
Well, I think that's like a linguistic error on how they would define man.
What?
Because
no, I'm talking about the act in of itself, right? From your own perspective right now, that if a 16-year-old boy, right, if they said that in order to become a man, right, as in like some form of metaphysical thing, that they have to be raped or whatever by their own father, right? That if that has to happen in order for somebody to become a man, right? Would you say that do you have any right whatsoever to morally judge them for this case?
No, I don't have no moral right. I could critique it, but again, that would just be
critique it on what grounds?
On what are they defining man as?
No. Okay, so he's trying
that's
to.
That's not the point I'm getting at. I'm not trying to do the equivocation on the word man here. I'm talking about, let's just say child and then adult. Okay, from what you currently understand child and adult as. That in order for a child to become an adult, they have to be raped by their father, right? Would you say that you have any moral duty in any case to speak out against that actions?
No, not a moral duty. I would say that's like a false dilemma almost, because
why?
because them being raped is not, or them being an adult is not dependent on that action.
Yeah, but how do you argue against that?
Like, I mean, like, there's no way to argue. Like, how do you argue against this type of viewpoint?
Like, why it's wrong?
Yeah. What would you use?
I would simply demonstrate how a child could become an adult independent of a rape.
Yeah, but this would be based off of a cultural situation. This would be based off of like a tradition that they hold to. This wouldn't necessarily be off of like a biological problem. They're not making the claim biologically.
Oh, okay, I
in this
understand. I
hypothetical
understand
scenario.
what you're saying.
Yeah, it's kind of like how in the U.S. we'd say that like, oh, a boy becomes a man when he has a kid, right? Like sometimes people will say that, right? But that doesn't mean he literally becomes an adult biologically, but rather that he becomes a man when he has a kid that he has to struggle with, and the boy grows up because he had a kid and he has to take care of the kid now, so he can't be a boy. Right? Like that type of polemic. I'm saying that if they hold something like that towards having to be gripped by your own father in order for this to actually occur, that you don't believe that there's anything you could use to actually critique that situation.
Well, yeah, the only critique I could do, it would be opinion based and subjective.
Oh, okay. You don't see a problem with something like that at all when it comes to moral philosophy?
Because when people when people argue against specific acts, like let's take for example abortion, right? These specific acts, they can be opinion based. Like one person, like Judith Butler, for example, she would say, okay, a woman has a given right to abort this child because they are not a human person. Well, another person could say, okay, because they have they may define personhood in a specific way, or they could say based off of the states of affairs and presented truths and realities, someone is more likely to contribute to society than to not contribute to society. Therefore, the woman is obligated to give birth, and the life is significant for the mother. This is under the grounding of like logical deduction, metaphysical obligation, right? There are specific things in reality and logical order that we can lead ourselves to, but that gives you the question, what is this objectification based off of, right? We can't just say, okay, our logic, which is something objectively appealed to from reality, like, right? That is something that is not opinion based. So the question is, how can we argue against this person that says, okay, in order to be a man, you must be raped by your father, right? There is something objective that we can appeal to. We can't just say, okay, I think this is wrong because I think it's wrong. You get what I mean?
Well, isn't that's how morality works, or that's how we see it operating? We could see that, for example.
Just because people are doing things that way doesn't mean that it's and therefore correct. I mean, people do things wrong all the time in different fields. I mean, I don't know how you feel about like a lot of the way that science tries to purport different types of. I don't want to get into a lot of this because it'll get me banned. But like freaking theories regarding, like, for example, transitioning children. Right, like are the parents allowed to make the overall decision to transition a child into another gender? Right, like it gets into all of these types of situations. I'm not even like speaking from like a philosophical truth right now. I'm rather speaking that moral philosophy would have to be necessary upon the grounds of complete dystopia. What's the word there? Dystopian reductios. Right, a reductio into forms that you cannot actually deny some form of dystopian society with absurd conclusions coming out of it. It would be impossible to argue against said systems coming into play, and you would have to basically just assent to it, no matter what comes into play, because everything is simply just subjective at the end of the day. I can think of literally the worst things humanly possible, and if you're in that nation, and those rules become a thing, you can't judge said actions that were enacted into law, right? Otherwise, you have to appeal to something that grounds that to make that wrong.
What do you mean by judge?
Like the ability to determine whether or not that the government admitting a new law into play is right or wrong, or that there's an issue with holding to a certain position.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
it becomes impossible.
if it's like subjectively right or wrong, that would be dependent on what their goal is.
The goal of like what? The transitioning children or whatever?
Well, like for example, like say I said like there's a law and it says like children can only eat like protein and fat to be the strongest humans. Like
sure.
Objectively we can observe this and that would be wrong.
Objectively observe it in what?
That if you like to have the strongest humans, you could only eat protein and fat. Like,
well, so you're saying though that it would be objectively wrong in the case of what, like biological
in
progression?
their goal to have the strongest humans, like
Yeah.
it would be dependent on their goal.
So do you think that they're right or wrong in implementing that, knowing that there is something objectively wrong about it?
So like let's use a situation that's similar to that but kind of brings more of a morality system into play. Let's say that we have a society, right, that's losing birth count consistently, and a new law is put into place that all women are forced to breed. If the goal is to increase, right, a utilitarian view, if the goal is to increase production of human beings, then we should create basically forced breeding centers in some way, shape, or form, right? Is there something that you can argue against that?
Well, no, there's nothing I could use to argue against that because it's forced.
At Zangrimadic 5974 super chatted $10. The question is not whether morality, truth, meaning, and dignity exist. Most people live as though they do. The question ought to be whether a purely material universe can account for them.
Yes. Thank you, Ingrid. Appreciate the $10. So the thing that I'm trying to get at, right, is that you just said like, oh, there's nothing that I can use to judge against it because it's forced.
But that the forced birth would actually help the goal. That would be
So you'd
towards
have
the goal.
but you don't see the implications of like the level that I could take this to just off of that reductio, and how that would be absurd for humanity.
No, it wouldn't though, because individuals would fight against it.
Yeah, people are going to fight against this shit.
Like we can logically deduce against this, but you would obviously agree that taking someone's agency or capability for freely choosing to do things is wrong, right?
No, I would agree, but that's only based off of my personal experience and environmental factors.
You agree? Okay, so it's based off of environmental factors?
Yeah, so it's based off of my personal experience.
There's no objectification that you could appeal to?
No, because if I was born somewhere else and had a different worldview, I might not have the same position.
Oh, no, okay, all right.
All right, so if we talk about something like the Schmolocast, for example, right? Do you know the goal? Do you know the goal of the red bands, and what their action, the reasoning as to why they wanted to eradicate the Jewish people?
I don't know. Was it purification or like economical reasons?
It wasn't necessarily just purification. That came later. The initial reasoning behind all of these types of things was due to the fact that there were a lot of people that lived in Germany that were a part of this descent that controlled a lot of the financial systems, right? And it was a lot of it was economical in the beginning. And so would you say that due to the fact that their goal was an economical reason in that case, right, prior to obviously basically believing in some form of like pure race system, that you can't judge that because of that? Or
well, I mean, I can have my opinion on it, but you know, if I was,
I think really this just collapses into like truth just becoming unintelligible. Like there's no point in arguing anything.
All right, I'm just gonna get to the nitty gritty, dude. Do you believe that the laws of logic are objective?
From what I heard, yeah, I don't necessarily know all of them, but I see like
okay, and where
people say they have to be.
Yeah, sure. So if the laws of logic are objective and universal, then where are they grounded at?
In regards to what?
In regards to the actual the fundamentals itself, the laws. right? So like if I were to make a proposition for something and I were to basically invent the reasoning behind why I should believe in blah, 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 or why I should believe in blah, 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 I would argue for a new thing. Like if I just argue for a new thing, a law that doesn't exist anywhere, but I'm arguing for this law, I would be considered the foundation for the beginning of said law. Right, I would be the beginning of this proposition because like determining something that should be done versus something that can't be done, things that are true, things that are false, right? All of these things, right, they're grounded in some form of mind that actually proposes something. So if you believe that the laws of logic, the laws themselves are objectively true, then they would have to be grounded into a objective and universal mind. Because we can only make particular argumentations. We can only make particular, like we can only ground particular propositions.
I'm sorry, I'm not tracking. Are we not the ones who ground the laws of logic?
No.
No, because if it's objective, then obviously we can't invent it. We're not we're not universals. We're particulars.
Yeah, they exist independently of the mind.
Yeah.
Like
so the laws of logic, this existed before humans?
Yeah, I would say that prior to, right, humans existing, that a tree is not a rock.
Well, I would say the term tree and the term rock didn't exist before.
No. We're not talking about the language. We're talking about
the identity of the tree versus the identity of the rock would still be different either way.
Yes, the basing in reality.
Oh, so what they are?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what they are is, we wouldn't be able to explain it, but they existed.
Okay. So
exactly.
if the law of that's a law of identity in the laws of logic. So if that law exists prior to humans, then where is it grounded?
Well, I would just say it's grounded in like matter, like on what it is, like what material it is.
So matter
in
is
regards
universal?
to the tree and rock.
So you think that each individual? Yeah, but you think that what? Now you're Aristotelian?
So like the material that makes up the rock is different than the material that makes up the tree, regardless if humans existed or not. Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with saying that these things are the case. The problem is the foundation for being able to individuate things, though. That's something that's prior to humanity, and it's a proposition that this thing is not this thing. Right? The proposition itself is not something that can be grounded just in the human minds. Because it can't be those things prior to a man thinking about said thing.
Yeah, that's why I said like it's substance and matter. Like that's what distinguishes them.
The fact that you're even saying that there's substance and matter prior to human creation in the first place, that is a proposition still. That's another proposition that's absent of a human mind with what you're saying. So the actual the truth that thing being truth. That thing being true, objectively, prior to a human mind, where would that be grounded?
That would be grounded based on our observation.
But so then, therefore, then it's not true that a rock is not a tree prior to humans existing. Then, in your view, it's not. There's no truth value to it. Prior to human beings existing, there's no way to actually determine the truth or the falsity of those two things.
Well, is there a way we could demonstrate it?
When we exist, sure, but that's just us using the laws of logic. That's not us actually inventing identity on those things. We're using something that already is in the world.
For the laws of logic to be used, humans have to be present, correct?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so
I would say that there's an inherency in some forms of irrational creatures as well, where they use it implicitly.
Okay, so any creature, can you demonstrate any creature? I mean, the laws of logic being used before any creature existed?
No, that's the entire point that I'm giving. With the way that you view things, you'd have to say the laws of logic literally just don't exist.
I'm saying that we don't see them present before creation exists, but
that's because we ain't there to see it. What are you talking about?
That's my goat. It's Wayne.
So that's what I'm saying. In order to use the laws of logic, some type of creature or agent has to be present.
Yeah, I understand that in order to like make the proposition as human beings, that we have to make that proposition to make the statement for us to assent to it. Sure. But the actual law itself, I'm not talking about using the law. I'm talking about the law in of itself. Right? You have to believe that that law does not exist prior to human beings, which at that point you have to say that contradictions can exist prior to humans existing. Because the law of non-contradiction states that things cannot be true and false in the same respect. So if that's so in your worldview, the way that you're entailing it is that prior to creation or prior to people existing, then things can be true and false in the same sense.
From how I see it, no, I don't see things being true and false in the same sense.
Yeah, from where you are right now, sure. Obviously, you can't affirm a contradiction, right? The married bachelor, right? That's obviously a contradiction. It's the same respect. But when we're talking about, like, for example, a contradiction cannot exist prior to human beings existing with the way that you're purporting your worldview. So with that being said, you have to say that contradictions can be a thing prior to human beings.
No, I wouldn't say that though. Like,
I know you wouldn't say that, but again, you got to give me an argument as to how that's not the case. I made an argument specifically as to what your worldview entails. You can't just say, I don't believe that. Like what?
Well, can you give me like a specific example? Because I tried to say that it's dependent on its matter and substance, and you're saying no. That's a
again that's already presupposing, of course, that there's an individuation in material objects prior to humans. That there's something that can individuate a rock from a tree prior to human beings existing. If there is a way to individuate them prior to human beings existing, meaning that proposition can exist absent of the human mind, then again, like there's no way for you to actually say that, oh, well, a tree is a rock prior to human creation, prior to humans, because you have to ground the fact that there's a principle of individuation prior to human beings existing.
Now, I would say it's dependent on language and definitions and their meanings.
The terms that we use, the vocal cords that we use to utter the laws, is not us inventing the laws. We're just using them. Just because if the tool exists prior to humans using the tool, because we could say the laws of logic are a tool. If the laws themselves, the tool exists prior to human beings, then there has to be an explanation or a justification as to where this tool itself actually exists in reality. And you can't say that it's grounded in the thing itself, because that's begging the question of that thing being individuated in the first place.
What? So you're saying it can't just exist within reality, as in like a piece or part of it?
If you say that there's already pieces and parts and all of these types of things, that's still begging the question of the fact that there is objects that exist prior to creation, prior to humans in the first place, that there's individual things that exist prior to creation. That's already presupposing the fact that is possible prior to it. And if it is possible prior to it, then all I'm asking for is an explanation or justification as to how these things could be the case.
Well, I mean, that will go back to eternalism, that, like, these
well, that makes it worse. That makes it worse.
Or substances that exist today have always existed. They just exist in a different shape or form.
That's still begging the question, though.
Of what?
Because especially if it goes all the way back into like an eternalism or something like that, that begs the question that the fact that there's still a principle of individuation eternally. And this principle of individuation has to be grounded in something. And if you say it's grounded in the object itself, then it's still begging the question that you can individuate these two things anyway.
Wait, can we not individuate them?
We can use that with the laws of logic that we apprehend right now, yes. We can do that because we're here. But prior to creation, if you think that if nobody makes the proposition that a tree is not a rock, with your view, you have to say that a tree can be a rock prior to creation because that proposition hasn't been made yet or something like that.
Well, that could be true before our creation, but not necessarily like a creature.
What? I mean, I'm assuming you believe that at some point in the universe there were no creatures, right?
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Okay. So then with that being said, I mean, like, if let's say that the only thing that exists is rocks floating through space, you'd be able to say that there's some form of individuation between two different types of meteors based off of what they're made up of, right? That begs the question of the fact that you can still individuate two things prior to somebody making that proposition. The law still has to then therefore exist in something, and the law itself is a proposition. So where is that grounded at?
It might not be grounded. Since I can't ground it in reality, like you're leaving me with no option.
No, I am leaving you with an option. It's called a first mover. It's called a universal mind that actually grounds the existence of universal laws.
Is that not begging the question?
No, because that would be the final point for something having to be able to exist. If there's if there is a way to individuate things infinitely from backwards and forwards, then there has to be something that's outside of that time and space or whatever to be able to ground a said universal thing that applies for all time.
Is there an objective law that makes this, that there has to be a mind or agent for these things to happen?
The laws of logic.
And the laws of logic.
The laws of logic doesn't. There's no law in that says there has to be a mind or agent for these things to exist. That's not present within the laws of logic. That's not a rule or law within that.
We've already established that there's like a necessary grounding for these specific things. Or everything becomes floating propositions without a human mind.
Do you believe that the laws of logic exist prior to someone apprehending them?
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah,
Okay.
I assume so.
Okay, so again, then this would be something universal and objective that is prior to, I guess we'd say space-time even, right?
I mean, I don't know about that, no.
So you don't think so if we're talking about, like, for example, after the Big Bang in some way, shape, or form, when time and space, I guess, officially starts or whatever.
Well, I don't believe in the Big Bang though. So.
I mean, I don't exactly either, but like I didn't know what you believed in on that. I mean, what do you believe then? You're eternalist, just full eternalist?
I mean, I like I wouldn't subscribe to, but I like the Big Crunch theory, or it's like a multiversal creation theory.
Multiversal.
But I mean, they could be false though. But I like the idea of it.
The idea of a multiverse, bro.
A start or anything, dude?
Huh?
You don't think that there's a start?
No. I mean, no. I just think there's like a steady state and things come after that.
A steady state? So you believe that the steady state is something that just always has been, or is something that to put the steady state into place?
I would say the steady state is like the ultimate reality, and I would say like that has always existed. Like that is the steady state that contains and sustains everything.
And what logic? The laws of logic are contained in that, or what?
Or they might exist. The laws of logic might be like a piece or part of the ultimate reality.
Okay. Well, do you believe that the laws of logic are mind dependent?
No, I wouldn't say so. No.
I don't think that the ultimate reality has like any explanatory power for the laws of logic anyway. Because I have a hard time understanding the position. Honestly, I don't really understand what you're trying to get at.
Well, you guys would also like believe in the ultimate reality as well, but like that would be like an agent with a mind, and that you would call him Yahweh, right?
Yeah, but our ultimate reality,
and like you exist within his mind.
In a sense, I mean,
yes and no.
Yeah, yes and no. It depends on like what you mean by that. Like if we exist.
Well, I heard what's his name say that Q-Top, so he said that
Okay, well he's a goober. Don't ever listen.
Q-Top's a goober, bro. Sorry.
But we would say well, hold on. I do have a question. So you think that it's
Yes,
like
sir.
a multiverse, right?
You said what?
It's an infinite expansion of multiverses.
You're asking me if I believe in an infinite expansion of multiverses?
Or just a multiverse in general.
Yeah. Depending on how you define a universe, there could be like a multiverse.
And you don't believe that there's like a first cause for reality.
A first cause? No, I would say like reality is self-existing.
Okay.
Do you hold to the scientific view of like the second law of thermodynamics?
That what
Regarding
anything cannot be created or destroyed, or is that did I just butcher something?
No, in the sense of a closed system.
Well, I don't know
It's a
how
closed
anything would
system 'cause
work in an open system.
Okay.
But,
Do you
but a
think
multiverse theory is an open system.
But it's all enclosed within the ultimate reality.
The omniverse? Like, what the hell are you talking about? What's the closed system in the multiverse? The omniverse?
So it would the ultimate reality that would just be like the one, and then there could be multiple ecosystems within.
The one?
And these ecosystems will be different universes.
Is the one a being?
People call it a being, but you call it a being. I just call it the ultimate reality.
Do you believe that the ultimate reality is simple?
In what sense?
Yeah,
As in it's just one.
It's just one in every case.
Like, I was.
Is it composed of? Is it composed of anything? Like, is the one that you're talking about composed of parts?
No, I wouldn't say it is composed of parts, but I believe we perceive it in parts.
Okay, so
Like pieces and parts.
okay, so this one is absolutely simple, and
Spinoza,
it's the
bro.
cause, and it's the cause of all things.
Yeah, I would say it's the cause and source of all things.
All right. All right. So this absolute monad that you're talking about here, how do you justify the existence of anything being multiple if the foundation for all individuation is only simple in every case? This is called the problem of the one and the many.
That goes into like dualism and non-dualism.
Okay, are you a dualist?
I'm both in different senses.
What?
In different senses, you can be both.
What you mean?
What?
What you mean?
So
What you
I
mean
would
by
say
that?
I would say the objective reality is non-dualist, but how we perceive it, the subjective reality is dualism.
Okay, but all right, there exists like a presupposition, though. That, all right, do you agree that my mind is distinguished from your mind?
Yeah,
Can
I
you prove
believe that.
In reality?
Can you prove that?
Because the problem is that your foundation for all things is absolutely simple in every single case. So how do you actually justify the fact that things can be multiple in reality if the foundation for multiplicity is not also found in this one?
Well, I would say that the one is the source to your mind and my mind.
Okay,
But
yeah. But there's
Yeah,
there's no form of multiplicity that actually grounds the existence of two minds being capable of existing in the first place. There's no multiplicity at all in the one.
And then like there's no way we could distinguish between the two.
Yeah, it leads to monism. It leads you to basically say everything is one, bro.
So hippie.
Well, we could distinguish the two.
But is it truly distinguished though prior to, I don't know, me thinking about it?
Yeah, bro.
Is it distinguished?
I would say in an objective sense, in my worldview, no.
So you're a monist.
I guess I never heard of that term.
So in reality, everything is one and simple.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but at that point, bro, now you can't, dude. Your worldview is like impossible to justify now. Like it's just completely ad hoc at that point. Because now,
Yeah,
like
bro.
you can't individuate anything, and you literally just argued with me for like 30 minutes on the laws of logic, bro, on how individuation exists prior to humans conceiving of it. Yet you just admitted that now things can't be individuated unless a human distinguishes something. At that point, like I don't even know what your worldview is anymore.
Well, I'm referring to like the pieces and parts within it. They still exist within the ultimate reality.
Yeah, a rock and a tree is a piece and a part, right? They're both parts, right?
Yeah. They both are pieces and parts within the ultimate reality.
And you said there's two different substances to these things, and that's the individuation form, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make them not part of the ultimate reality, though.
Okay, so then at that point, so let me give you another argument now. if there's multiple substances that make up the ultimate reality of the one, then the one itself is composed of an infinite amount of substances. It's now composed of parts.
Well, that's how we perceive it.
So then the one, the absolutely simple monad, is not a simple monad anymore. It's a composed monad.
And if it's just off of how we apprehend it, then you have to demonstrate how it's actually the case. And
if you say that it's composed, you also have to then necessitate some form of composer, because all things that are composed is composed by something.
this is known as the Platonic argument for God.
So what's the composer of the one?
Us who exist, like we're distinguishing it.
That's not. No. No.
Is that not? We're the one like making the separations and.
But if it's not actually distinguished, you said that are the substances prior to us thinking about the substances? Do they exist prior to the substances that we're thinking about?
No, I would say that the substances always existed before we thought about them.
Okay, cool. So they're individual prior to us thinking about them. And you said it's all part of the ultimate reality, which is the one. But the one, right, has to be composed of all these substances. If it's composed, then therefore there has to be a composer of the composed. So what is the composer of the monad, of the one?
I never got that far into the worldview, so
fair enough. Fair enough. But I mean, like it sounds to me like you're picking anything but God, bro.
Yeah, you need to. I really recommend you read like Leibniz or something.
I mean, what? So what's the argument or like reason why a mind or like a conscious agent has to exist?
I think a good argument,
because we still believe in the ultimate reality. You just believe it has a mind. And it's an agent. I don't.
I think a good argument is based off of like presented truths in reality, because if you think that they're presented truths that we can apprehend in reality, then would you agree that there would be higher priors in some designer creating life versus non-intelligent causality happening to create life, or some naturalism view?
Yeah, I hold to like a naturalism view that, like, you know.
Okay, do you think that there's a higher probability in the presented variables given that a creator demonstrated like a rationality, the capability for life, and intelligibility of reality? Do you think that there are higher priors and presented truths for that position of theism than there are for naturalism, which has no, because if you think that there's explanatory power for naturalism, then can you demonstrate that for life and rationality and intelligibility of reality?
Okay, so how are you defining life? As like organic matter with like a cycle, a life and death cycle?
Yeah, self-animation. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I will hold to like a naturalism view.
Yeah, but okay, how does that demonstrate more explanatory power than theism?
So he's basically it's kind of like based off of like it's honestly just an argument from parsimony. I use the funny word again, right? is that we know that life comes from life in pretty much every case demonstrated in the naturalist worldview, right? So then if you hold to the naturalist worldview, but then you also believe at the same time that life came from non-life in the beginning, then again, like you're kind of contradicting the point of your worldview.
Wait, so you're saying that non-life?
Because you ground things in naturalism. Naturalism necessitates, obviously, that creatures create other creatures, and that this perpetually goes on as creation exists.
Yeah, and I mean there exist other presented variables that can lead you to theism, based off of the designer also having or possessing these properties, and naturalism not, like teleology, for example, or like goal directedness. There exists in rational creatures the capability to possess goals or want to create symphonies or certain beauties, right? Well, you could say that some creator wanted to
have a teleological ordered reality, or a reality that is to express beauty or great joy, right? And creatures capable of having goal-redirectedness. Well, naturalism does not present any of these variables to be the case, and there's actually issues in rational creatures even necessarily existing under the position of rational or naturalism.
You're saying because like these creatures have a mind, therefore like they can't be true because these creatures have a mind.
I'm saying that
it's due to the fact that the principle for all things within creatures comes from other creatures, right? In the naturalist worldview, that eventually it's gonna get back to the point where there's not a creature anymore at all, right?
Wait, so how does it get back from a point to where there's not any creature at all if a creature has to come from a creature?
You're starting to understand here.
Because then you're saying God is a creature.
No. A creature, in terms of our definition, is just something created, right? It's just we will say that it's just it's a creature, as in it's a created being, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in naturalism, you'd obviously say that a created being comes from another created being, right? And this continues. So in naturalism, you obviously believe in some way, shape, or form that creatures did not exist at some point. And if they did not exist at some point, either you have to hold eternalism also on creatures now, which is absurd, or you can also affirm that there's some form of mind that is independent of being a creature in the first place, that actually causes creatures to exist. Life doesn't come from non-life. That is demonstrated in naturalism based off of literally every piece of data that we have at all. So if you say that you hold to naturalism, but you also hold to abiogenesis at the same time, this then shows that you're holding to a contradiction within what you actually come to truth with.
Why can't there be a formula to create life in the natural worldview? Like saying like this,
there is.
This material, no, like this material and this material, they come together and they create life. Why can't that happen?
I mean, you're saying, well, I don't think that that's possible. Right? I don't think that that's possible because I believe that life always comes from life. That's something that's demonstrated in the world. So saying, well, why can't it just be life from non-life? At that point, I might as well just say, oh, well, God exists because he just does. Like, that's basically what you're saying.
Well, there is a formula or theory for abiogenesis.
What is
and
it?
It's like it occurs over like
because I've heard it. I've heard it. So like, what go ahead.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but the formula or theory exists that these substances came together, and over a course of 1 million years or whatever, the single cell organism, and then so on and so forth.
The organism already has to exist. Do you see the problem? You're saying organism comes together to another organism and creates a new organism. That first organism, the first simple organism, had to be created in some way.
Yeah, it was a combination of the substances.
So non-organic material creates organic life. You believe that? That's not even scientific.
No, I wouldn't say it's non-organic.
Well, then there always has to be organic material perpetually throughout the cosmos forever.
How are you defining organic?
Something that can come together to create life. Like, as in, like a specific material. Like, what are you defining it as? Maybe I'm not understanding.
I thought organic like was life.
Yeah, and so like when you're talking about an organic organism, right? That's life, right?
Yeah. So the materials and substances coming together make this organic life.
Okay, so the material. So you believe that non-organic material can create organic material. You think that something goes from a state of non-organism to organism. That is not.
I believe that's.
Abiogenesis does not have a formula for that at all.
No,
I've read about abiogenesis. They don't have a formula for that.
It doesn't have any explanatory power versus some creator. Even you don't even have to say that this creator has all these great making properties that we refer to. We're just trying to tell you that this specific creator has the necessary explanatory power, and based off of probability and presented variables in reality, it has more
priors than the theory of abiogenesis, because abiogenesis is based off of something that it's literally just a best guess, bro.
Well, I mean, I definitely have to do some more research. I'm not like sound enough to argue in favor of it.
No, you're good.
Especially like,
I say we can go ahead and cut it here if you want. We've been up for a while.
yeah. So it was good talking to y'all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good. Appreciate it.
I'm
bringing up coconut and.
So like Bryce J, why should I believe in Orthodoxy?
I'm not doing that today.
Is that Rumi?
That was probably Chris LARPing as Rumi. I can't do this.
So Bryce J.
Yeah, exactly. Man, can you give me an argument for God?
Invite him up. We'll just do a Rumi versus Rumi for.
Yeah, what's up, Bryce? I have a quick question.
What's up?
What's your thoughts on the Bo Branson articulation of the Trinity?
I think that if you hold strictly to the analytical view and you don't try to apply scholastic categories to it, it's not in of itself a problem. I believe, though, that the church fathers don't teach it in the way that he does directly when it comes to like the analytical axioms.
Right. But would you agree with his basic premise, though, or not really?
You define. It's been a long time since I've read his LPT dissertation.
Well, I guess the basic idea that the Father's God by identity and the Son and Spirit by predication.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of that. That in my opinion, I think is a little bit semi-Aryan.
Oh, dude.
What makes you think that?
Because like when we're talking about like identity thesis, if you were to say that the Son is not God by identity in that case, then you'd have to say in some way that he possesses the divine nature in a different manner that the Father does. So he would be lesser because of the fact that he possesses it in a different manner. You'd have to say that if the divine nature is given to the Son, right, we would say that he possesses it in the same method or the same way as the Father possesses it. So then therefore he would then be God by identity in the same manner as the Father is God by identity. If you say that the Son is God by predication, you have to say that he actually possesses it in a very specific manner than the Father does, and possessing a nature in a way that the other person doesn't possess the nature is problematic.
I definitely see where you're coming from. That does seem like a problem. But what if it's just like a relational difference?
I mean, that's just relative identity, and that's a great answer to LPT.
Right. Well, Artie, thanks, man. I just had a quick question. Thanks for having me up.
Sure.
God bless.
You just wait until World comes up and asks you a quick question, quote unquote.
Like, hey, Bryce J, I have a quick question for you. When you say that the Son is God by identity and the Father is God by identity, how many identities is that?
Go ahead.
How many Yahwehs possess identity? How many identities are talked about as Yahweh?
It's God. It's God.
Yeah, I used to argue for that predication view. I did that actually when I debated that Unitarian guy Andrew. I kind of regret doing it now, but
oh boy.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on true orthodoxy? He gets
goober mentality. They think the calendar's uncreated, brother goobers. I do not care. They think the calendar is an energy, bro. Like,
yo, Bryce, have you seen Backrooms?
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I want to.
My bad. So yeah, just after you've seen the movie, and I'll debate you on whether it's good or not.
Do you think it's good?
Absolutely not.
Wait. Hold on. So I'm gonna ask this first because like I know a lot of like general Backrooms lore. All right.
Oh no, it's great for lore. It's great.
No.
It's great for lore.
Wait. But are you saying that it's bad because it doesn't follow the original liminal space purpose, and that the end? Because I've seen the entity. It's definitely not the entity of the original Kane Pixels series of the Backrooms, right? Like the original. Because I've seen all of Kane Pixels' original series on the Backrooms. I know that the entity is definitely not the same thing. Are you saying that it's bad because it strays away from Kane Pixels' original intentions, or are you saying that it's bad because it's actually just it's just theatrically designed bad?
Okay, so I would say both, and because like one kind of plays with the other, because the original entity, like, notice how it's like otherworldly, right? But with this new entity, it's like you're making it more grounded, but at the same time, you're making it to where it's like a lackluster version of that. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying when it comes to like it doesn't appear otherworldly enough, but at the same time, the backrooms itself utilizes the material world that we have now to represent objects in the first place. So if the entity is just actually appearing, for example, as something that represents material objects, but just in an uncanny valley way, like it does, then I honestly wouldn't say that it's a problem. Because, like, I mean, like, they walk into rooms where there's Christmas trees. They walk into rooms where there's chairs stacked 1,000 high. They walk into, like, freaking rooms where there's slides. Like, all this kind of shit. Like, this is all stuff within our current understanding of the world, and it all manifests inside of this. I would say that the entity is just the same mindset, right? Honestly, it would have been fine if it was just a faceless guy. Like, just a regular dude, but with no face. Like, that would still make sense to me. Kind of like how there's some entities in the original series, like, not Kane Pixel's series specifically, but like the Liminal Space original Backrooms lore, like you know the level with the IKEA, the Infinite IKEA?
Yeah.
Right? Like the entities in the Infinite IKEA are simply about like the entities are literally just IKEA employees with no face, and they're just really tall. But they're just dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah,
so
I
like
would
I think the
say-
entity in the movie is like perfectly fine.
Okay, I would say that like I'll concede that like it makes sense to this newer, maybe new, like a broader approach, and maybe it's gonna be more fleshed out, maybe more scary in like the sequels. But I would say like I want you to watch the movie and watch the third act, because it's the entirety of the third act that's like I don't really I don't really like it, bro.
I mean,
I
like,
just
does
don't.
the movie even follow Kane Pixel's like understanding of like the like Ardine Industries and like the
I
whole,
can't say because I don't think I've watched
where the government
enough of Kane
discovers
Pixels.
it, so like the original lore with Kane Pixels is that the government ends up discovering that they can create this portal that leads to the back rooms, and they can turn it on and off whenever they want, right? And so the government, right, using a company called Ardine Industries, I'm pretty sure it's remembered, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Yeah,
So
where basically they decide to basically design the back rooms, level 1 specifically, to be basically an infinite storage unit for Earth.
all right. One last question. Have you seen Obsession?
No.
It's really
I saw,
good. I think
I saw,
it's better than
I saw a clip
Backrooms.
of it on Facebook or something like that, and I saw the chick going, "We were supposed to have a nice date." Like, that's the only thing I actually saw about it so far.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's all I got to ask, man. God bless.
Yeah, sure.
Yo, Bryce, I have a question.
Sure, bro. What's up, Chris?
What do you think the formal cause of justification is?
What?
Yeah, what's the formal cause of justification? Like how we're justified before God? What's the formal cause of justification?
Justified before God, just, I mean, I guess you'd say by grace. Like by grace through faith.
Like everyone would agree that, but like,
okay, so then what do you?
The specific question is like, what is grace doing that justifies us before God? Like, is it the inherent righteousness in the individual? Is it the non-imputation of sin?
I mean, I haven't really dug into this subject a ton, so I mean, I don't want to like say anything that's false about the Orthodox's view. I mean, like, have you asked other people this question and they gave you something different, or what?
Well, it's like I get a lot of different readings from like people on Twitter.
Sure.
Like I heard people say like, "Oh, we believe in duplex justitia," or I'll hear other people be like, "Oh, we agree with Trent." So it's just like a lot of different things.
Yeah, I haven't really read that much on justification. Like, I know general soteriology and stuff like that, and talking about like the atonement and all that. But when it comes to like the actual justification or the thing that's being done in man itself, I haven't really looked into the metaphysics of that at all.
Okay, another thing. Do you believe concupiscence is formally sin?
Is it formally a sin?
Yeah, like motions of carnal concupiscence.
Hey, who do you want to hear a nominalist victory right here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see an issue with that on the surface.
What did you say, Bryce?
I think the inclination itself, I don't think is a Like a problem with saying that it's still a sin.
Like, what sin, materially or formally?
I don't know if I'd say it's formal.
Okay,
if you're making a distinction between material and formal that way.
Hey, what do you think of Gregory Rimnai's view on it being formally sin?
I think Blessed Gregory of Rimini agrees with Trent, and Father Bertie gives an exposition.
Do you think he's based for saying that concupiscence is a sin before baptismal regeneration?
True? Yo, true. So true. So true. Yo, Augustinian victory. Let's go.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
W. Augustine, I
So
guess.
true.
I didn't hear half of that, but W. Augustine.
Augustinian victory. Yo, let's go. You gotta read St. Augustine on the topic, Bryce, bro. He's such a W.
And Gregory is reminding?
Is it in his anti-Pelagian writings or what? Or is it in his anti-Donatist writings?
Well, it would. So when he talks about concupiscence, he talks about it in Against Julian and On Marriage and Concupiscence.
Okay.
Now, if you
So his
really want to
anti-Pelagian writings is against Julian.
You guys have a quick question.
What's up?
Is it okay to ask?
What?
No, I was joking.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, what do you say about Justin Martyr saying that the Old Testament is corrupted? Does it affirm Islam?
What? Okay, first off, Saint Justin Martyr, when he says that in the dialogue with Trypho, he's referring to Jeremiah 8:8, bro. He's referring to the fact that there were people that were attempting to corrupt the scriptures in the time of Jeremiah, bro. He's not referring to the Old Testament simpliciter, man.
Bro, but it affirms Islam, guys. You gotta admit that.
Bro, your voice is so incredibly deep, it's shaking my headphones. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He sounds like DK if he went through puberty a second time, bro. It's insane.
I'm still at puberty, but yeah.
Legacy hit puberty 3 times over and going for a rematch.
Wait, how old are you, Hebrew guy?
71 turned
There's
around.
no fucking.
You are not 71 backwards. Shut up, bro. You're lying.
Yeah, for real.
Bro.
Why did you turn black? What the fuck?
No, I am black.
It's legacy after 5 rounds of puberty, bro.
The Balkan black guy, dude.
He's back for a rematch.
For real. You gotta get Dion in here and have him just go toe to toe, you know what I'm saying?
But guys, that actually affirms Islam, guys. You gotta admit that.
No, I just explained why it doesn't, bro.
There's a guy, bro, who actually spams this argument. Like, why did Justin Martyr say that the Old Testament is corrupted? Why did he say that? But yeah. But then another question. So, about when you go to the Vesper, to the liturgy, and the priest prays, what should you do? Should you just listen to the priest or pray your own prayers?
I mean, it's both and.
Oh, snap.
Yes, it is. Yo, dude, this guy's baking me right now. No, it's not. No, it's not.
This is not. Oh, yeah. Pure testosterone energy.
Yeah, I would say it's both and, bro. Yeah, I'd say you listen to the priest's prayers, but if you're praying for very specific people during the Vespers or praying for very specific people during the liturgy that the priest doesn't specifically mention during the Great Entrance, that doesn't mean that, oh, well, I guess I don't get to pray for my mom today because my mom wasn't in the Great Entrance.
Okay, I understood then. Yeah. Because, thank you guys.
Sure thing, bro. Appreciate you coming up here. That was fun.
Yeah. I'm going back to the comments. Right.
Thank you. What the hell?
Way fine, dude.
Saint
Bro,
Nestorius
you're
is
still
shown.
doing those, Bryce? Dude.
Yeah, dude.
9? What the heck, bro?
I've always been on 9s. I've been on 9s.
Bro, you got to work your way down, bro.
Nah, I'm all right. I'm chilling.
Bro, I'm down to 3.
Down to 3? Damn, bro. You're basically just putting paper in your mouth at this point.
Pretty much.
Hey, good on you, bro. I don't really...
Bro, you're going to give yourself high blood pressure, bro.
I already have high blood pressure. I do a lot of caffeine, too.
Dude, that's terrible, bro. You're 25. How are you, 25?
No, I'm saying I don't actually know if I have high blood pressure. I'm just saying that. Like, I just think I probably do. I don't know.
When people join the lives, it probably spikes it a little bit.
No, that's cortisol. My cortisol spikes all the freaking time. Dion spiked the
Cortisol
living
and
crap
stress
out
are
of my
correlated.
cortisol.
Those are correlated. Cortisol is the stress hormone.
From me? Honey, I don't know the context. What do you mean by that?
Yo, Bryce, I have a question. So, is the habit of charity and habitual grace identical or really distinct?
They're really
Go
distinct.
ahead. I was about to say.
Bro, no, they're not, dude.
You explain both of them? I'm your stress. You sometimes bad, but you're fine.
Bro. Okay. Habitual grace is the grace in which justifies us before God.
It's on the same topic that I just told you that I didn't study. All right, go ahead.
Hey, bro, if you study enough justification...
No, go ahead. I'll give you an answer anyway, as long as you just clarify the terms real quick. Maybe I'll have an answer.
And charity is, well, I think you know what love is, right? Charity, the willing the good of another.
Yeah.
And this would just be like supernatural, so
Sure.
according to the supernatural order of God.
Yep.
Or are they really distinct or really identical?
I think they're distinct.
Really they're really distinct?
I don't know like what level of real distinction you're using there, but
like are they formally distinct?
I think
what the code is saying. Are they really distinct?
I would be okay with them being formally distinct. I would say that they're objectively different thought processes in God, for example. Say it's different ideas in his mind. They're different ideas that are in his mind.
We're talking about the termination of the creature.
Okay.
So then, like, even this doesn't have anything.
You're talking
to do with
about the grace
ideas.
itself, though, right? Or are you talking about the way in which the humans utilize it?
No. Okay. So we have habitual grace, so the effect in which is justifying us before God, and we have charity, right, which is the willing the good of another in the supernatural order. Now, they both are technically the principle in which we're justified before God, according to St. Augustine.
Sure.
So, I mean, it seems that charity fits the definition that habitual grace is, and it has the same effect. So, like, this is Mastrius's argument on why they have to be really identical. But he also agrees that they're, like, actually distinct, right? Because they're distinct forms.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Interesting.
Mastrius, dude. It's Mastrius.
Okay, but the thing is, though, the Bonaventurians disagree with Mastrius on this point. They think Bonaventure disagreed, but the Scotists think Bonaventure.
Do you have any Bonaventurians that you recommend me?
Well, none of them are in English, and I don't really feel like giving them.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like Hugh of St. Victor and freaking Bartholomew. They're still being translated, so it doesn't even matter.
Hugh of St. Victor was an Augustinian.
Yeah, but he agrees a lot with Bonaventure. Like Bonaventure quotes, or I'm pretty sure there are quotations in how he agreed with the ideologies of St. Bonaventure. That's why I refer to him.
Don't call him a Bonaventurian. That's kind of.
I'm not okay.
But, there's Father Gaudentius. You have Barbieri. I have them in English, but again, I'm gatekeeping them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because you use Claude.
You can't send me him.
No,
you can't be special. Wait, where's it from? Who's it from?
Go on PRDL, and if you go to the authors, if you look at all of the Capuchin authors, they're all Bonaventurians. So like OFM Cap, they're all Bonaventurians.
And you want me to translate them from the Latin?
It's pretty easy, dude.
Bro wants me to use Claude and spend the rest of my days when I could just SCOTUS max and know everything before I finally get to read one book from a Bonaventurian, bro.
Exactly.
The Scotists are wrong. And the Bonaventurians are wrong on Dideo Trino. They're both wrong.
That's a lie.
bro, you believe emanation precedes relation?
Dude, the sigh was crazy. I think he asked you that, Isaiah. What do you think?
Oh yeah, like that's a Bonaventurian distinctive. What do you think?
I'm not really sure on how the Bonaventurians cash that out, and honestly, I'm not really gonna argue with the SCOTUS interpretation of Bonaventure currently, just because that's all I have in how they interpret Saint Bonaventure. So, or I could just cite Bonaventure directly.
So are we LARPing in your bio or something?
No, just because I prefer Bonaventure over every other saint.
But then why would you call yourself a Bonaventurian?
Because he's
It's
superior.
Then why? But you haven't
Do you
read
have
the
to
school
do you,
manual.
do you have to read like every single person a part of that school to be labeled as?
And
one?
also,
You should have an idea of like what the schoolmen say. Like because
There's
like
so many
Bonaventure, like
interpretations.
Thomas think that Bonaventure was like Thomist.
my
Jesuits
God.
think that he was Jesuit. Like Bellarmine thinks that that Bonaventure was like Jesuit on grace. Like Bonaventure is one of the most contested people.
Yo, really? He is pretty contested, yeah. But I think he's pretty based, and I like reading the SCOTUS too. I think they're pretty fun.
Over.
It's like almost everybody in the schools think they're a part of their school.
Exactly. That's what, and I mean, he's got great spiritual books as well. Like Holiness of Life is absolutely peak, and I recommend it.
Oh,
Yo, Bryce, dude.
Oh!
For every 15 voice cracks you get, I get one.
I know, and I gotta call it out when it happens, because else I'm screwed.
Bryce, what do I do, bro? I have like terrible sunburn, bro. What do I do?
Aloe vera.
I got sunburn from playing golf.
Bro, and
aloe
I
vera.
have a baseball game tomorrow, dude. What am I supposed to do?
Put some aloe vera on that and get moving.
Send me the English translations, please.
It's all red, bro. I'm cooked.
Can you send me the English translations?
You'll be all right.
Well, on what? I have my friend's currently. What is he? He's translating like 8 volumes of Gaudentius Brixiensis on his like whole theology.
Yo, just send me what you.
It's literally how freaking people feel. Like I feel when people are just like, "Oh, have you read anything from Neophytos Prodromenos?" They'd be like, "What the hell did you just say?"
Jover, but like you're like, oh, send me on what topic? On Christology, on De Deo Uno, De Deo Creator, De Deo Trino.
Yo, whatever I can get as a secondhand source that isn't a SCOTUS author that's going to argue against St. Thomas Aquinas every 5 seconds.
What's your Discord?
It's columnist, bro. Here. There you go.
Looks Jewish.
I mean, he's named Columnist, so sounds like Kabbalist. Combing his beard with a jewel? But that's a whole comb. What are you talking about?
Dude, are you allowed to talk about Israel, Bryce?
Why wouldn't I be able to talk about that?
Aren't you a government contracted?
Doesn't mean I can't freaking talk about it. I'm allowed to have opinions about things.
Dude, did I tell you I was Googled in Israel?
What?
Like, yeah, I was Googled in Israel like hundreds of times.
I bet you were.
I was. My priest was too. And then like family members, DK was. Like DK's real name.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, bro. My address with my zip code.
You got doxxed by Israel? Nice.
Yeah.
We're at that phase in the live that we get to talk about Israel.
Well, dude, I'm just like a little ginger boy. What am I doing? Like, what do they want?
It's the sunburn, bro.
Maybe it's because I caught the quarter zip, Bryce. You think that's why?
I think it's because of the quarter zip and the songs that you enjoy.
Yo, you reminded me. Yo, I might have to start doing that again. Bro, I miss those days, bro. Don't you miss those, Bryce?
No.
Why not?
That shit almost demonetized me on YouTube every time you did it.
Were you streaming on YouTube at that point?
Every time, yeah.
Muy bem. Muy bem. See, Luigi misses it.
But, yeah. Anyway. Had to get rid of him before that started.
Oh boy. Yo, send me that stuff, dude. In Discord right now. You better.
All right. So, I'm going to go to bed. This was a good
All right,
stream.
God bless you, man. It was a good live, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good live.
Good talking with you, man.
Good talking, bro.
Other than
It's
the people that joined.
Yeah, some of the people were pretty crazy.
You'll send the Latin. Yo, please, dude. I'm begging you. I'm literally like, yeah, bro. Come on. I got the stuff too, bro. I got stuff from Colloquia. I can send you.
Alrighty. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.
Hey, bro.
God bless.